if you don't know, we're just not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Or we're not gonna ask. And then I move here, and the teachers are like, feel free to ask questions, right?
No, I can't imagine little Matt was sitting in the classroom, bro, just scared.
No.
They're like, he can't speak it. Like, no, he can, but he don't want to get it right.
No, I'm not asking questions.
Oh, you looking at that like that's a trap.
Yeah, that's a trap.
She's trapping me.
So it's like, because in Samoa, they do that. It was like, does anybody have questions while the teacher's holding a ruler? And you're kind of like, nah, no, I'm good. I'll just go home not knowing the information.
Should we lead this with we love Samoans?
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
But it's a real tough upbringing.
All right, we back.
Yeah, we live.
We live. The pre-show went a little wild, but we on here. Hey, so I'm over here with hey, tell us about yourself, man.
Matt Aiono-Smith. Smith is my stepfather's last name, actually. So I'm Aiono by blood. My last name is really Aiono. So it's Matthew Aiono. Born and raised in American Samoa. Summertime, raised in Western Samoa. It's like a whole custody thing going on there.
For real?
That's a story behind that too.
Oh,
and then the age 13 moved here, Camp 4 for like a year. And then we got expelled from Camp 4 for fighting in school, so we moved to Waipau, and that's how we ended up here in Waipau.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, so much just happened just now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You got custody battles.
Yeah,
you got
custody battles.
Foreign travel happening. You got expulsions already.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So, yeah, we moved here by the base, but we're always in Camp.
Hold on, before we go, the story getting crazier as we talk about this. The story is getting even crazier just as we listen to this. But this is my son's flag football coach. Everybody, we had a very wholesome start to our friendship. People are like, I didn't know Christian was like that with the fight. Like, no, guys, I'm from Waipau, but I went to private school. But yeah, so this is my son. So one of the reasons I wanted to have him on, Coach Matt over here, is because, man, we took our son to a lot of sports, and one of the things that was amazing, you coach at Tour Squad, and my wife had actually messaged you back, kind of like months before the first season that you guys started playing. And man, you guys are really like kind because we couldn't make it. We were trying to figure out how to make Sundays work and all that, and we were trying it. So we ended up trying another team and another league, and that was a little strange. But man, all of our interactions with you leading up, my wife was saying like, I was asking her, what did the coach say? Man, it was really kind. And then the way you coached our kids and the way you coach my son, and man, there's not a lot of coaches like you out there that I've seen that man like really care about the kids and developing them and more about their character and all that.
Right.
And so without sacrificing the hard work and without sacrificing like putting in the effort and learning the skills. So that's how I met Coach Matt. And man, it was just as we gotten to know you, man, I was really blessed for the Waipau connection. Yeah,
for sure.
The faith connection, all of those things that we're gonna get into.
Man, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Behind that. But yeah, it's a funny story because when we started coaching XL League for flag football. We're actually under a guy named Josh Asuncion. He's the owner of a Space Rangers team. Same thing like Tour Squad. But I found that my son was trying to lacking certain things, and then we kind of wanted to start our own team called the Braves. Yeah, so I was looking for kids, and I remember I got a message from you guys because Rocky had advertised it on the Instagram.
Rocky Sabangaya. Yeah.
So we actually got a message from you and Sis Leah, and then I was like, oh yeah, we're looking for kids, but you guys were looking for a league that wasn't playing on Sunday.
Yeah, we found out it does not exist.
Yeah. So I said, okay, that's fine. We're still trying to find kids, this and that, but I couldn't get a field permit to start my own team here in Waipau. And I was like, it was taken up by all the other tackle football stuff. So, and then in the midst of trying to start my own, I found Coach La in Tour Squad. Actually, my wife found him. So I touched bases with Coach La.
You guys just saw advertising online or something?
Yeah, we actually saw like a little reel of him saying goodbye to Too Cold and starting up Tour Squad. Just the whole thing. So I touched bases with Coach La. I go, look, I can't find a field, but I would love to come coach for you. I start up a 6U, and he's like, man. And then that's how everything happened. Yeah, and then in the middle of our first season, I get a message from you guys again, and I was like, oh, this is the same family. So I knew it was fate, bro. It's just God just works kind of like that sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you guys showed up in one of the practice for while our season was going. I was like, yeah, I'm not letting go of this kid, man.
Yeah.
He's way too talented, but yeah. So.
Man, we were grateful because, man, you'd be surprised how many. You'd be surprised that we didn't know anything about flag football. We didn't know anything about a lot of sports. Because the last time we played sports, man, it was just PAL League or like, you just sign up at the rec center. That's you're playing for White Pow.
Pop Warner.
You're playing Pop Warner. This is your neighborhood team. So man, but every conversation was so good, and man, we've been grateful having them there. But how did you get into coaching? Like I tried. I coached 4U.
Oh yeah.
I coached 4U one time, and bro, I couldn't do it. I told them run left, they run right. I told them focus, they don't focus. I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
For me, it's to be honest, I didn't know until I actually started coaching that I love to teach. I love to share information, and that's like a passion of mine. For me, it's like seeing people progress from one stage to the other. That's a win for me, right? And I know it sounds kind of selfish, but I think my passion going into teaching kids or teaching anybody anything, even at work or whatever it may be, that kind of goes all together. It's like a big roll of information for me to share. And as much as I love the game as a spectator, being in the huddle and watching and seeing in their eyes, like, yeah, we can do this. It's like an energy that we transfer. So if I transfer the energy of information and I see them transfer it on the field together, that's a whole different world now for me. It's like, so when they score, I'm not like celebrating because I'm not doing it. That's their glory. That's for them, right? But the reward for me is to see them go from point A of learning the play, transferring me, giving them the information, them actually processing the information and understanding that I can't be just one guy doing this. All of us got to do it. And then boom, if you do this decoy route, my teammate's going to be wide open. It's that whole it's that whole process of information that I love. And so and then that ties into patience, and then it just kind of it gives birth to itself. And it all, for me, when I was younger at that age, I wasn't afforded that. You know what I mean? It wasn't, because growing up in Samoa was tough as a Samoan kid, right?
Yeah, what was that like?
So you can't ask questions. You're supposed to know already.
Should we lead this with we love Samoa?
Yeah,
yeah, we do.
But it's a real tough upbringing where, because our people are kind of different in that aspect. So in Samoa, it was always like we tell it to you once, you have to get it. If you ask the question, discipline, right? And you didn't want to get disciplined. So if you don't know, we're just not going to say anything.
Yeah. Or
we're not going to ask. And then I move here and the teachers are like, feel free to ask questions. Right?
No, I can't imagine little Matt was sitting in the classroom, bro, just scared.
No.
They're like, he can't speak it. Like, no, he can, but he don't want to get it right.
No, I'm not asking questions.
You looking at that like that's a trap.
Yeah, that's a trap.
She's trapping me.
So it's like, because in Samoa, they do that. It was like, does anybody have questions while the teacher's holding a ruler? And you're kind of like, nah, no, I'm good. I'll just go home not knowing the information. And then I get here. So I kind of learned from that. And then here now I'm telling the kids that I'm teaching, don't be afraid to ask questions. Because misinformation is no information. It's the same thing, right? So if you don't ask, and if you really want to know, I'm not going to gnaw your head off. I'll tell you. If I don't know, I'll find somebody that knows, and they'll tell you, right? Because if we don't afford them that information, they'll never understand. And then they're going to just wander the world, and everybody's going to be judging them for what they know. And you know what I mean? Like we kind of handcuffed them into that horrible.
Or being afraid to ask questions, right? To look, they don't want to look dumb. They don't want to. They're more worried about that, and they rather go around people thinking they know when they really don't, than just like, hey man, just go ask the question.
Yeah, and
and that does affect them down the line.
Yeah, it sets them up for failure, really, because if they're one question short of passing a test, or being great at what they want to do, or the craft that they're trying to build within themselves, or anything they try to learn, if they're not going to ask that question, they'll never succeed.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and now in 50 years down the line, they look back and say, man, I could have been a great receiver, or I could have been a great architect, I could have been great at this if all I had to do was ask the question, right? growing up in Samoa was hard, and being abandoned at age 6. Sorry,
Hey, well, hold on.
Yeah, there's a lot to this. So when I was 6 years old, both my mom and my stepfather left.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they just dug out. Like,
Wait, your mom and your stepfather. So your dad's already out of the picture.
Yeah, I never met my biological father.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know I had a biological father outside of my stepfather until I was 13.
Wow.
So that's another story for another. It's
okay.
weird.
So
yeah, so when I was
6 years old,
6, let's go. When I was 6, my sister was 5, and my baby brother was like 2. You're still in diapers. Then they just kind of up and left. But before they left, they sold us to we were living upstairs to an orphanage, an illegal orphanage in Samoa downstairs. And I always remember that lady. She had like 17 kids with her. It was like fatherless, parentless kids, right?
Wow.
So they sold us $20 a pop, me, my sister, my brother, to that lady downstairs.
Wow.
And my auntie, who was Aiono, she's my biological father's sister. She lived in another village about 7 or 8 miles down the road. She found out, she got wind of that, and she's the one that came and scooped us up and raised us as her own. She also had 3 of her own kids. So those are like my cousins, my blood cousins. And that's how we raised. We grew up in a family, and they were pastors. They were pastors in Samoa.
Wow. Your auntie then?
Yeah, my auntie and my uncle. So that's who I call mom and dad now.
Yeah.
And so from then, they decided to make a move here in Hawaii in 1993. And we thought we was going to go stay there because my grandpa and my grandma in Western Samoa caught wind also that their daughter had abandoned us to this orphanage guy. So that's where the custody battle started happening.
Oh, but they wanted you guys.
Yeah.
They did not want you guys.
Yeah,
they didn't know their mom.
They didn't know that, yeah. So they wanted me to come stay with them in Western Samoa while my auntie and uncle was moving here in Hawaii. So they had this whole, it was back and forth. So summertime.
Well, how did that okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like I would stay in American Samoa during school time. The summertime I'd go Western Samoa to live with my grandparents. And that's how it was. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So when he finally made the move to come here, the decision to come here, my grandma really fought. She really wanted to fight me. But they already had the paperwork signed and all that stuff for me to be, for my auntie and uncle to be guardians, the one that's been raising me this whole time, right? So there was no way for my grandma to actually legally take me to Western Samoa because, they're not under the old American and modernized and all that stuff. So that's how we ended up coming over here in 93.
How'd you feel about all of that, man, going down like as a because you're 13, you're older already by then. How'd you feel about all of that while it was going on?
Yeah, going through all that was tough. Like I as a 13-year-old kid, I didn't know, as long as my baby brother was with me or my sister was with me, I was fine, right? It didn't really matter where, because at that point in my life, I was thinking, we've been going through this since we were 6.
Yeah.
Like we never really belonged anywhere, right? Everywhere that we went, the village knew us as the foster kids or the adopted kids. So they kind of treated us differently, right? We would eat on the floor and their kids would eat on the table. Or like, don't ask for extras because, it's for the guests and for the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like redhead stepchild type of stuff. So I've always had to fight for trying to belong somewhere, you know what I mean? With me, especially my baby brother. Like, my baby brother would get hungry some nights because he's a big kid, right?
Yeah.
He'd be like, "You gonna go for seconds?" Because he wouldn't ask, because he would get dirty lickings if he would ask for seconds. So I would ask for seconds for him. So I would get the dirty lickings, or my sister would get the dirty lickings, just to get the plate over, just so he could eat. Because he was like, it was constantly like that,
Man.
and. So we went back and forth, and then come 13, we did it. It didn't matter to us. Like wherever you guys take us, it's always going to be the same story.
But this was from the people that this is from your mom and dad now, or when you're at
my mom and dad now.
Okay,
yeah,
that's how it was. Okay,
yeah, that's how it was.
Because they had other kids by then.
They had three of their own kids.
Okay,
and then there was us 3.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. But my mom and dad wasn't the ones that were doing that kind of. It was like the ones that were serving the family. Because my mom and dad was like pastors of the church and stuff. So those who was helping out the family, they knew that we were the adopted kids,
right?
And the pastor had his own kids.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, the pastor's kids eat first, and then you guys can eat with the cooks and the guys that prep the stuff, and you know what I mean.
Oh wow!
The whole time as a 7, 8-year-old, you're kind of like, I've accepted this as my reality now, so it is what it is. But if my brother's got to eat, like, can I ask? And there was just throw in 2 or 3 jabs or whatever.
Did you have any resentment towards your other siblings that you were living with? Or?
Oh, yeah. Well, I always felt like it wasn't their fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I did when they were like being mean purposely, but then I felt like 2 or 3 years after living with them, they kind of started accepting us as their brother and sisters.
Yeah.
So then at school, they'd be like, "You better not mess with them." But before that, they're like, "I don't know them."
Oh man!
Or it would be, "Hey, you better not tell them that you're my brother."
Yeah,
because I don't know you.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, yeah, whatever.
So that's a big transition already. What's the transition like? And I'm guessing you guys are just speaking Samoan.
Yeah.
So what's the transition like when you come to Hawaii?
For me, it was easy.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it was kind of like a whole new world. I can start over here now, like literally land of opportunity, right? Because the teacher's kind of like, you can be an astronaut, you can be all this, you can be all that.
I could be all that.
I can literally be this. Where in Samoa was either like join the military or be a great athlete, right?
Right.
I mean, that's not a knock on our people, but that's what was presented at the time.
Yeah.
So when I came here, I was like literally like, what? I can be this, I can be that. Yeah. There's programs, brochures, there's handing out. I had no idea. But I could speak English, but I was only mimicking English. I don't know if you can understand that. But if that makes sense. I don't know if I can make sense.
I can't speak. I can speak Samoan, but I've only mimicking Samoan. I understand.
So when I was watching shows, like I actually learned how to speak English from sitcoms, Family Matters, Full House, things of that nature. But my older brother could understand it really well.
Yeah.
So when the audience would have like fake laugh, I would laugh along, right, with the show.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, "Why are you laughing? You don't even know how to speak English." So what I did was I would start mimicking what they were saying, like, just like impersonating the different characters. And then I came to find out like what I was saying was making sense. And then when I went to school here, I started to learn English.
Yeah.
Actually learn what they were saying, actually doing. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's how I picked it up.
When did you leave? When did you move to Waipahu then? What age were you?
No, I was 13.
Oh, okay. You were 13 when you moved to Waipahu.
Yeah, 13 going on 14. Because I was when we moved here from Samoa, I was 13.
Okay.
But I went to Doe Intermediate in Kalihi first.
You got kicked out of Doe
Intermediate, yeah.
in less than a year?
In less than a year.
Oh, snap.
So
what happened?
My older brother.
Goodness.
Right, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack here. So my older brother is 1 year older than me. He came here in the beginning of the year. I moved here in October. So when my older brother went to Farrington, my oldest brother went to Farrington, first day of school, he got into a fight and he got suspended. And then the one under him, one that's 1 year older than me, we went to the intermediate together. His first day of school, he got into a fight, he got suspended. And then I came, it was a trifecta, man. When I came, my first day of school, I got into a fight and I got suspended. But difference is, on my second fight, I accidentally hit the science teacher, and she was like 76 years old.
Oh no,
Miss Springer. If anybody that went to the intermediate in the early 90s knows Mrs. Springer, and she's like this frail old lady, always been nice to me, right? But I got into a fight that day because a kid whacked me with a science book in the back of my head.
Oh man,
at Doe Intermediate, because I was just fresh off the boat kid, straight from Samoa, and
what kind of kid was he?
It was a Filipino kid. Yeah,
tough.
Yeah, it's a Filipino kid.
Tough.
Whacked me straight, but I didn't even know it was coming, right? But I turned around and me and him went at it. But I guess Mrs. Springer came to try to stop the fight, but I was already in red mode, and I was just swinging wild, and I hit her, and she fell.
Oh no!
And so that's how I got expelled. Yeah, that'll get me.
Okay, that got you. Okay,
because my brother already got one strike, so they figured, he's got to go to a different school. We were supposed to go to IA Intermediate. Well, I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
we ended up going all the way to Waipahu.
Man, the Lord had better things planned for you. So tell me about the block, man. What was it like when you was growing up on the block?
But that's how we ended up in Waipahu.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, what was that like? How was getting acquainted to Waipahu, man?
And that was another transition I had to learn through. And I was like, I got over here. Oh, I heard you're from Camp 4. What, you're blood? I was like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, you blood or you Crip? Well, what set you back? I was like, what are you talking about?
Wait, where'd you grow up in Waipahu, though? Where'd you live?
I lived in, I lived right in the back of Upwally when we first moved here.
Okay.
And then the year after that, we moved to right by the Mormon church in Waipahu. And
Okay,
that's
yeah.
where,
Right over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where we lived the whole time. And then after that, right before I graduated, I moved to Sunset Villa.
Oh,
in
where
Oasis.
legends are made?
Where the legends are made, yes.
Legends are made. Yeah, if you're from Sunset, stand up. If you're from Oasis.
Yeah, from Oasis.
That ain't it.
when all the gates were open,
Yeah.
that's where I lived.
Yeah, you know what? When we moved, we grew up in Waianae. When we were
really?
little. Yeah. So I grew up in Miley, not Waianae. I just said Waianae, but
Yeah.
Miley. But when we moved to Waipahu, we ended up moving and we were in Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Man, bro, I felt like we arrived. Dude. I was like, roll up, like,
I'm here.
My goodness. We live in a gated community. Like, this is crazy. Like, dude, it was like, I was like, we got pools.
Those gates are to keep the community safe.
Man, we got pools out here. We got the little kiddie circle pool. We got the big pool. We got we don't gotta go to the laundromat because you could do your laundry right there.
Yeah, everything's so conveniently in there. Yeah,
I thought we was living it up.
For life.
Like, oh my goodness, this is the best.
Excuse me.
Man, no, you're good. Huh?
I know you hear me coughing. It's my asthma. It just comes and goes. And
No, you're good. You're good.
gotta deal with that thing again.
Man, but yeah. So what was that like growing up? When you were in Waipahu, you got acquainted really quickly.
Yeah, I had a good friend named Sydney. I can't remember his name. It's a good friend, but I can't remember his last name.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but he had the same mentality as I was. Like, we didn't give no damns or stuff like that.
Yeah.
We fight anybody. I had a big chip on my shoulder when I moved here. So it was almost like all this bent up anger and resentment that had nowhere to go, right? Because of what I had to deal with. And when I came to Waipahu, I was just unleashing everything. But at the same time, I was trying to learn how to understand how America works. Because I felt like that was a huge disconnect when we moved here from Samoa. Because in Samoa, you could fight in school. And the teacher will they'll let you duke it out. And then after that, you go to the principal's office, and the principal tell you not to do it again, shake hands, you go back.
Yeah.
Here, I got a fight at Doe Intermediate, and I saw the cops for the first time in my life. I thought I was going to jail.
Oh, man.
But I didn't know they were there for me, right? Because like 4 or 5 of them all standing, okay, who's the one that got into a fight? I was like, did you guys really call the cops? For for me and him going at it? Because I didn't understand that. And then my dad had to I literally had to go to a counseling from the police academy. Sit there. This guy's yelling at me about being more disciplined. Your dad and your mom loves you. You're out here punching everybody at school.
You're just confused. Like, I do know that. I know that already.
I was like, yeah, I'm over here fighting. And what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Right, dude. That's assault. That's assault. You can go to jail for that. I was like, I'm still not registering what this guy's telling me because where I came from, that's completely legal.
Yeah.
It's like, what's wrong with defending yourself, right? Yeah. So then in Waipahu, it's like, okay, cops came the second and third time I got into a fight. And then I got into a fight again in Waipahu. Wow. It's crazy. And then more cops showed up, and then they actually pressed charges. And then my dad was like, oh, now we got to go to court. Now we got to do it. So it's like huge.
Are your parents in the ministry over here when you guys moved over, or they had retired? Or
so when we were living in Camp 4, they were looking for some churches, Samoan churches here. We're looking for pastors, and we found one, a family in Eva Beach. That's how we actually ended up staying in Waipahu.
Oh, okay.
A family in Eva Beach looked over and brought my dad over to be a pastor at their church. So it's a funny story. But Tua Tagovailoa's mom was a keyboard player for my dad's church.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so we're real good friends.
What
really
church
good,
was that?
We're good. It was called Whanau Fuina. It's a Lamusa LMS church.
Okay.
Real old school, Oregon, stuff like that. So, so Diane we're still all good friends now. We still communicate here and there, but see the rise of her children and stuff like that. It's like awesome, huge, man. And nobody believes that Tua's mom. Yeah, whatever. I goes, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's cool, but humble beginnings, man. It's like that's how it all started. But my dad was a minister here, and that had its own challenges as well.
Yeah, what's the challenges of being a pastor's son, man, out here?
it's almost, it's not as bad as being in Samoa, but the expectation is still there. You have to be like squeaky clean. What you do out there represents us, and you know what I mean. It's like, if they know you're the pastor's son, you gotta be the one that's doing all the right things.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pressure for a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid. But me, my brother, my oldest brother, none of us fit the mold.
Oh man, my dad is a pastor's kid, so I understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's funny because I hear stories like that, and I've seen a lot of pastors' kids on the other side of it, like that are following Jesus, and but man, for them it was rough growing up.
Yeah.
And they kind of made decisions that wouldn't be good for anybody.
Yeah.
And that's how they got in trouble a lot of times. But a lot of that, when they look back at it, man, they were just like, they just needed help and attention. And their parents were giving, for better or worse, they giving everything they could to the church, but sacrificing their family, you know.
And that's the struggle. That was the struggle, right? And we didn't know as pastors' kids that that's what we needed. We had football games and our parents were never there because, you know, the church had Bible study. Excuse me.
No, you're good. You're good.
We had football games. The parents weren't there. We had Bible study, you know, or deacons meetings and board meetings, right? And they were never there. So we kind of adapted to that reality of, I'll just perform however I want. My parents not going to be there anyway. And then growing up and still being in the ministry and learning, trying to be there for my kids. I caught myself actually being that deacon that was always church Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. You know what I mean? And like now I'm looking back, like I can't do that to my boys. Like if my kid has a softball game, I'm gonna go to the softball game. If my kid had a baseball game, I'm sorry about Bible study, Pastor, but I gotta go to, because I gotta be there for him, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't understand the ministry world yet because he's still very young.
Yeah.
So I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta sacrifice that for my kid because me and him, the relationship between parent and child is a lot more important than my relationship with the church. Because my relationship with God is always going to be there. And as long as I feel like that's the strongest that I have, everywhere I go, it's going to follow me.
Yeah.
Because God doesn't lie. His promises are always true.
Yeah.
Where you go, I go. And as long as you keep me in your heart, you take me to a football game, Bible study, prayer meetings. Well, no matter where you go, he's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
But if I just go prayer meeting, and my son is like, where's my dad at the football game, right?
He's serving God, son.
Yeah. Right. And then now you sever that relationship
Right.
for something else.
Yeah.
But and that's what actually got us out of serving in churches was we were trying to help out so much with the church, and I completely neglected my kids.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to be that guy that's gonna be successful at church and doing preaching and worship team.
Yeah.
And you know, God all the glory.
Yeah.
God sees our hearts
For
and
sure,
everything.
for sure.
But my kid's gonna grow up troubled on the streets because my relationship with him is not there.
Yeah.
Now he's gotta go look for something else. I'll be a ganger. I'll be a gangbanger then.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do all this bad stuff, maybe my dad would probably turn their head and say, I gotta maybe, strengthen that cord with my son.
Yeah. Man, that's so true. I think like my wife and I, we try to find a balance in all of that. Just because we're pastors, I'm a pastor at a church, and my wife is helping out so much. But one of the things that we always talked about before we went into ministry was that we had kids while we were serving. We already started serving, so. But when we had kids, it was like we had to remind ourselves, like, hey, the kids never chose this life,
right?
And for better or worse, we're always gonna prioritize it. But like the best advice I ever got was from a pastor of mine, and he said, when you look at the qualifications for a pastor anyway, is that you manage your household well, right? That you're respected in your home, that you're present, that you raise your kids well,
right?
And that requires that you spend time with them, right?
Yeah.
And he told me, like, if you if you sacrifice your ministry at the expense of your family. But if you sacrifice your family at the expense of your ministry, you lose both of them.
Yeah.
If you sacrifice your ministry at the expense of the family, you lose the ministry, but you keep your family.
You keep your family.
And so I think I've seen a lot of people not do that, and it's not worked out great for them,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Even like us, like right now, we like it's a battle for us trying to figure out and balance. Okay, what we got going on with the church and what we got going on, what my son got going on. You know, he has his own dreams and things that he wants to do and things that he likes to have.
Right.
You know, things that are fun for him. And so one of the things we try to do is try to make we try to make church as enjoyable as possible for the kids. You know, like they gotta always come early with us. They always gotta do stuff. Yeah. But also to set time aside where it's like just our family. Set time aside where not everything needs to be about the church. And we tell our people that too. Right. And so one of the things we try to do as a church is like, man, we're just not going to be events driven. Right. We're like every event is just church. Like, man, because you got to go be missional somewhere, right? Like, I love hanging out with the church, but if we hanging out with each other all day, we talking to nobody. You know, we're like, bro, are you converting? Like, are you sharing the gospel with me, and I'm sharing the gospel with you? We just gonna keep doing this, you know?
So that, and then I always felt like that was the biggest missing piece in our church communities. No matter where you go, right? There's too much in one area, but less at the foundation, right? Because if your foundation is not solid, and you know this, right? Nothing's going to be built on top of that. And everything starts at the home. I mean, I understand if your home is broken, yes, you know what I mean? Find somewhere you can rebuild, but never give up on where it started. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like, it's funny, too, because as pastors, right, like, man, how your family is doing, that's the qualification for being in ministry anyway. So if your family's falling apart, bro, you got to take a break. Right? Sure. To do something more important than ministry. Yeah. Like, God don't need us in ministry. Like, meaning the ministry will go on without it. The church is doing just fine. Right? And but he called you specifically to love your family. Right. To take care of your family.
And that's where everything starts. Love starts at the family. Everything starts at the family, right? And I heard one of the preachers once mention, you think God needs your help? He doesn't. He just wants you to help somebody else by using all the gifts that he's given you. So it's not that a lot of the old school guys are like, well, if you don't go to church, you're missing your blessing. No, dude, that's not what that. You stop. You're flipping it. Don't flip
you're flipping it.
You're already blessed.
You're already blessed.
Yeah, you're already blessed. If you want to go to the church to mingle and then have the fellowship, strengthen each other, that's fine. That's awesome. That's amazing. I'm all for that. But I'm not going to be 1,000% there. And my family is all, is shambles. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think it has, like, as I think about it too, I'm like, man, it has to be, like, like there's a passage in Hebrews where it talks about, don't neglect the gathering of believers, right? It talks about that. And so I think that that's important. But I think when we think about it, when we think about church, a lot of times it's easy for Christians to make going to church the end all be all, but it's ultimately not. But I think it's both. I think God says, like, we need fellowship with believers. We need the preaching of the word. We need to sing, right? Greet one another with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, and we need to be loving our families, right? And so I think that wherever people land on it, you got to hold both of those intentions. So like even for my wife and I, we're trying to, like, and we tell our people too, we're trying to figure this out, guys. Like, we got a young family. And we just trying to figure it out. Yeah. But there's a lot of people, I think they're very heavy handed with how they approach it. And so, which is something I never wanted to be. Right. Just either as a dad or as a pastor. But I also think that it would be a lot easier if people saw church as more as a place where you could be yourself.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. That's the come as you are thing is all about, man. It's like, hey, man, you shouldn't be dressing like that because you're in the church, in the house of God. Like, dude, come on, relax. Yeah. Right? Come as you are, man. Be comfortable. Come in understanding that, you're trying to seeking answers for the problems that you have. And we may not have it, but if you can just communicate with the source on your own, in here, in the room full of 100, 200, 300 people, you're going to find it. I guarantee it. Open your heart. You can find it. But it's tough, man, because as soon as you walk through the doors, they kind of, you get the side eyes and you get the, I saw you was at the club last night, like, things like that. And it's always...
I only went once. Senior Frogs.
I was passing on flyers.
Senior Frogs was a wild night.
Senior Frogs. That was...
Bro, I never seen so many Samoans in Waikiki in my life. My whole life, Matt. They was all there.
Everybody was there.
I was like,
the seller, you remember the seller? Yeah, everybody was out, man.
No, I literally only been to senior front.
Oh, senior front. He said, oh, shit.
I was scarred after that. I was like, oh my goodness.
Hey, brother, when I say I was everywhere. everywhere.
Oh, man.
I had one green car, right? Going down the strip like 85 times. All right, man, let's go home.
Oh, just hop it in, hop it out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, so when did you start playing football?
I only played football my sophomore year at White Paul and my senior year.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I didn't play the in between years because I was lazy. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to like find a girlfriend. I was doing the girlfriend thing. I played soccer. I tried out. I failed. I tried out for soccer. I played my junior year. I played my junior year or my senior year soccer. Soccer was fun. That's where I started building my speed up. I was already fast, but I had asthma, so it was kind of like counterproductive. I was like a cheetah. 30 seconds, you're getting good 30 seconds, bro. You get a good 30 seconds from me. After that, the heart goes, the lung goes, and like,
oh, man. That's crazy. So you played soccer and then you played football.
I played soccer in off season, yeah. Football, sophomore year, I played running back, and then they moved me to linebacker. And then they saw that I was too small because I was almost 165, skin and bones. I was like Nate Jackson, just skin and bones. Excuse me, man. And then they moved me to safety, and that's why I loved it. I loved it, safety.
We was in shape, boy.
Yeah, we was, boy.
You were 170.
I was wearing extra small.
Oh, man. Dude, shopping at Baby Gap and stuff. Let me get a large from Baby Gap.
Savers. I was at the Savers.
Oh, man. Bro.
Back in the day when Savers was hit, man.
Bro, Savers, when Savers went up, it ruined my childhood. My mom started buying me stuff from Savers, so like you would see the toy from last year that you wanted. You know the one with the basketball one?
Yeah.
But mine would come with no basketballs, you know, or no net, you know, like man. I'm like, Mom.
It's not meant to be sold separately, Mom. It's supposed to be in the whole package.
It's all in here. Why are these things in Ziploc bags? Yeah. What is this?
Yeah. Where'd you get this from? Who'd you borrow this from?
Oh, now I'm like, man, I can't believe how expensive these toys are now. I was like,
crazy.
I took my kids to Savers, man. I said, hey, kids, come here.
Yeah,
get whatever you want.
It's on me.
Get whatever you want. I got you. I took the kids, bro. I was like, they're like, really? I was like, anything. Go get anything.
Yeah, it's like Christmas, and Christmas is coming around the corner already, man. I'm already dreading it, dude, because my kids are, I want this, I want that. I was like, listen, when I was about 12, my favorite Christmas story, we didn't have nothing. Sorry. We didn't have nothing. And my dad, I don't even think we had a tree that year. Like we were living by the Mormon church this time. We're still in White Paul. My dad went out to Walmart. He got like a pack of socks, a blanket, like straight out of Walmart, and one remote control car. And there's like 4 or 5 other items. There's 6 of us. And then he had them all gift wrapped, right? No box, nothing, just straight wrap. You know, like the wrapping paper on the and he had no names on it, and just threw it on the couch. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Man, this thing. And then just threw it on the couch. And then he had this remote control car, the RC one, where you spin, right? He would open it up, put the batteries in, set it up on one end, and then the case that it came in the box, he had it open on the other end. And none of us knew how to operate this toy, right? So his game that night for Christmas, this is Christmas now, bro. It's the best. That was the best, my favorite moment ever as a kid. He was like, the first person to get that car to park into that box, you can pick.
You get first.
You get first dibs. Bro, it took us almost all night.
Oh, man.
But I had my eye, because I saw him pulling it out of the bag from Walmart, right? I had my eye on a pack of socks, because I never had socks for school. I was like, man, I just wanted the socks.
Hey, man.
So I came like after the 5th time coming around, I finally got it. And I was focused. I think I got it down now. I finally got it into the box. And he goes, okay, pick one, man. I was so happy when I got the whole pack of socks. Pack of socks for Christmas, bro. And I was like, gee.
You buy your son some socks. What are you gonna say to you?
And I got socks.
What are you gonna say to you when you
Dad,
buy
I don't want the high knee one. I want the short one. You better get whatever color socks you can get as long as it protects your feet.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's You know what's nuts is because every kid, right? You can look back at stuff, maybe your like your childhood, and oh man, parents are like this or parents are like that.
Right.
But man, when you think about the fact that your parents provided you like food and clothes, and man, if I could go back, I was like, man, I would have been more thankful.
Yeah, more grateful.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Just like even now doing it now as a parent.
Yeah.
It's like, how did my dad do it?
Yeah.
But there are days, bro. Like, you know what I mean? There's days. Like right now, my schedule is crazy. Monday, I go to work, I get off, and then I go straight to class.
Yeah.
I'll get home to like maybe 9 p.m. And I get home, shoot the stuff with my wife and the kids. Tuesday, go to work, go to football.
Right there from work.
Yeah, and then right from work. And then Wednesday is the only day where there's nothing, right? But some weird reason, when you have a free open day,
Always got something.
the woman always got something going. Hey, let's go shopping. I'm going, oh my goodness, are you crazy? So then, and then Thursday, Friday, it's straight football.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, you get your football games, you want to kick and relax, but of course you got to go shopping or your wife's going to be mad.
Or jump on your friend's podcast.
No.
My bad, bro. I'm sorry. I don't want to contribute to this.
Oh, I love this, bro. This is awesome, man.
I didn't mean to.
And then, we got football Sunday.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and then the madness starts all over again.
Man. Yeah.
But now I'm thinking back, like, how did my parents do it? Like, and those times were harder. You didn't have the internet. I don't know how they drove around with no GPS.
Or you just drop a kid off. I remember my parents dropping me off and they go somewhere else. I see them in 3 hours. Like, and you waiting at the park while all your other kids getting picked up. You're like,
right?
But you never thought anything was bad, right? You just You just waited.
Good.
Yeah, you just waited.
You sure your parents are coming? Oh, yeah, he's coming. I have no idea.
Oh, man.
I can't get a hold of him.
That's crazy. But yeah, my wife and I talk about that all the time, man. We're like, I called my mom one time. I was like, man, how did you guys buy these cleats? How did you guys do that for us?
Crazy.
Like, I was over here just looking at registration fees and cleats and all that stuff, uniforms and things like that. And like, man, but if you could go back, you'd be way more thankful for what your parents did. I remember feeling like, oh man, my mom I wanted this shirt. I didn't want that shirt. I'm like, come on, dog.
Or the Nike one. There's a Nike on that one.
Man, it's crazy.
I don't care if there's a stain on it.
Yeah.
If there's a Nike on it, I'm going to wear it.
Yeah. So what happened after you graduated? Because I remember you said you went to the military. When did you go to the military?
Oh, so in the middle of I was dancing at Paradise Cove after high school.
Hold up. You was dancing too?
Yeah.
Bro, I was dancing too.
Yeah, I was dancing at Paradise. I was dancing at Paradise Cove after high school.
These people don't know. Matt, they don't know. We gotta flash some pictures on here just so people.
Yeah.
We're busy men now.
So you remember O'Brien Eselu, the late great O'Brien Eselu?
Yeah.
He was my boss.
For
He's
real?
the one that hired me. Yeah. So he hired me. I was the smallest. Remember, I was high school. Again, I said 165 skin and bones.
Man.
But he saw something in me during my audition, and he wanted to bring me on.
There's some abs. He saw something in me and outside of me.
All 8 of my ribs.
He could see it, and he was like, "Oh man, we can work with this guy."
And so all 8 of my ribs, all the ankle bones. No, but yeah. So I was shocked when he actually wanted to hire me, because the audition, the guy that took me over there said, "I think you would have fun at Paradise Cove."
Yeah.
But I never danced hula in my life. All I did was Samoan dancing. The whakapaki, the Samoan slap dance, you know what it is.
Yeah.
But that's all I did. All I knew was Samoan dancing. So when I went to Paradise Cove, the whole night show, the main show, is hula.
Oh wow.
And I told him, Brian, I can't do hula. And he goes, yeah, I know. I saw your audition. But you have showmanship. You have stage presence,
there you
this
go.
and that. So, but I could teach you hula. And then here I am, not knowing anything about that side of Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
And hula and the community. And I didn't know, like, he was big time. Like, he's one of the legends in that community. And I was like, wow, I did. So he was like, and then that's when all that started. I still was never, ever good at hula. But I love performing, and then I was there. So while I was at Paradise Cove, I met. While I was at Paradise Cove, I met Pastor Joe Hunkin's niece, and I started going to Lighthouse, and then going to Lighthouse. Remember now,
were you at Lighthouse before they moved to the building when there was meeting it?
That was in the middle of transitioning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just built a brand new gym over there, so that's how they recruited us from the Sunset Boys, and they said, "Hey, we have a basketball tournament. Come join a basketball tournament." So we had the Sunset Boys, all black. It was the coolest story, man.
That's how they got you guys.
Didn't win any games.
Oh, awesome!
Just got smoked.
Oh, God.
Hey,
I thought this was a good story. I thought we was gonna talk about wins and like, man, we came back. We took L's.
just kidding.
Was it all Samoas?
All Samoas.
Oh, man.
Hey, no coach.
Oh, bro.
Calling our own subs.
Oh, man.
It was funny. Man, it's just a bunch of knuckleheads, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing was, we were already causing trouble in the streets right in front of the Lighthouse when they moved in as a church. And where the church was, that small little cul-de-sac.
Yep.
That's where we drank. And we were throwing beer bottles over and causing trouble, wreaking havoc, right? Thinking that this and that. And they knew me, Smitty. That was my street name.
Yeah.
In Waipawa was Smitty. Smitty's the one that's leading the charge, and he's causing cops to show up. I was just a rotten kid, dude. Just a bad teenager, man. I was all over the place in Waipawa. And we were throwing beer bottles over, fighting in front of the church, swearing. And they would have security guards from the church run up with 2x4s.
Oh, not the 2x4s.
And I was like, just causing a mess. Anyway, so when they had the basketball tournament, they were like, "Hey guys, we were drinking. It was the same corner. You guys want to come join that basketball?"
Of course we do.
So we went to Walmart. We all got like the black tees and t-shirts.
The inside out one you can turn it is white and black.
And then we went to the craft station and got the stencils and paint. That same night, me and my good friend Darrell Polite, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Darrell Polite just passed away.
Yeah.
Me and Darrell stayed up all night, stenciling all our shirts like jerseys. I was so drunk when I got the stencils, bro.
That sounds like some big green.
Yeah. I was so drunk when I got the stencils. I didn't know it was like the ones with the leaves and the flowers that went to
man.
it. So we got these muscle bound guys wearing Sunset in the front, Sunset shirts with like flowers and leaves. But that's how I got into the Lighthouse Church.
Wow.
Was through that tournament. And then started going through services, youth services. And then I actually started loving it. I never had a relationship with God until that day. Because I was LMS. I was Samoa church all my life. My dad was LMS. And my first assembly experience was that. I didn't know anything about worship. I didn't know anything about getting in tune with the Holy Spirit. Nothing like that. I was like, what is this? What is everybody standing up and crying and tearing? I had nothing. And then a year of that, I finally went to my first altar call. And I promise you, it felt like there was a wind in there that night. And for almost the entire altar call, before they turned off the lights, I was at the altar for hours, just crying.
Oh, wow.
And all I kept saying was, "I'm sorry." That's all I kept saying. I did not know what I was sorry for, but my being was just saying, "I'm sorry." And I swear to you, the whole time it just felt like
maybe sorry for drinking and throwing the bottle,
throwing bottles,
fighting, all the stuff you just said. Maybe I'm just spitballing right now. I don't know.
Well, just backtrack to your story here, sir. Picking fights with the elderly.
Maybe you're saying that, and they should have just. Oh, bro, we got the security cam footage right here. We're gonna stick it right here on the slideshow.
Let's set up the replay. The replay cam.
Let me just show you this right there.
This punk kid.
This is what you're sorry for. Let's help you out, man. I figure young Pastor Hunkin would have done that, Oh man, dude, man, that's crazy though. I think that's awesome to hear. So how was that transition for you with your parents though? Because they were still Faifiaus, huh?
So my parents never had they kind of just let me live my life after so many years of trying.
Yeah. Man.
And I remember my mom was still trying to get a handle on me. Oh, I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want you to go to jail. My dad he didn't give up on me.
Yeah.
My dad literally told my mom, whatever he wants to do in life, he'll figure it out. Just let him go. And that's what it was. And then from there, from church, I got, because I was going to church so much, I was into the whole mode of maybe I shouldn't. Well, a lot of church members are like, maybe you shouldn't dance at Paradise Cove anymore because your body is for the Lord now. You know, and it was kind of like, and I was so naive. I was in church, so naive as a young soul. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I quit Paradise Cove.
That's a good job.
Yeah.
That was your job.
O'Brien Eselu called me up and he said, how come you're not coming back? What? How come you leave? Oh, you know, I found my calling in church. And he goes, is the church paying your bills? And I was like,
they didn't tell me about that yet.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I'm coming back. So I went back.
You got to go back, bro.
Yeah, but after that, I met Joe Hunkin's niece. And then through the whole turmoil of this and that, she graduated high school, and then we got married in the court.
Wow.
And we got married in the court. She got pregnant, and then we had our daughter. And then me as a Paradise Cove dancer / security guard, I kind of figured that it's not enough for my daughter. So literally on a bus ride to Waikiki, on a bus ride back home from Waikiki on one of my shifts as a security guard, I was going to get ready and then take another bus to Paradise Cove. And I was already burnt out already, yeah?
Yeah.
So coming past Pearl Ridge, they used to have the United States Army recruiting station over there.
Yep. I remember that.
And I remember looking over and I was listening to my CD player. my no skip CD player at the time. I still remember it was Warren G, the Regulators. Yeah, I still remember listening to my Warren G CD player. I looked over, United States.
White Power kids are still listening to Warren G.
Still listening, Nate Dogg and Warren
maybe
G.
on CD players, bro.
But yeah, I remember sitting in the bus and I looked over at that and I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. Got off the bus, went in. I was like, when can I get on the next thing smoking out of here? He was like, yeah, hey, what did you at the Army? He goes, yeah. Because I figured, and I despised the military back then.
Yeah.
Like that. Those were the cats that we were fighting with at the clubs every weekend. Was military guys. And I just didn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand it. And it's not that I didn't like it. I just didn't understand it. But I joined the Army from there. And then the rest is history, man.
Yeah. And how long were you in the Army?
I was in 10 years. 10 years in the United States Army, yeah.
And you guys moved...
I was in Germany.
What year was that?
2004. No, sorry, 2003.
Oh, wow.
Joined the Army 2003. Got out
so there's
2013.
heat in the Army, man, at that time.
Yeah. That was right after the 9/11, the whole 9/11 thing.
I think a year, 2 years, that's Iraq already.
Yeah, it was right there in Iraq.
Yeah. Wow.
So I got in right off of basic training. I went straight to Germany. My unit in Germany was already in Iraq at that time. I want to say they were already there like 8 months.
Man.
And then the guys in Germany, my unit in Germany was like, oh, don't worry, we can bring your family over. Just get your housing situated. Not 2 weeks in Germany. I was already training, boots and ground, Iraq.
Wow.
Didn't even see my family for the whole boot camp session.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And so your first wife and your daughter.
Yeah, my first wife
they
and my
moved
daughter.
You guys to move you to Germany. So they're there.
No, they weren't in Germany. They're still here.
They stayed here.
Yeah,
Okay,
they were supposed to come to Germany before I went to Iraq. But none
They
of
didn't,
that
so they
worked
just
out.
stayed here
So
then?
they just stayed here with their parents. Well, so I was in Iraq, and after my first deployment in Iraq, I came back to Germany. Same story again, trying to get everything situated, bring my daughter and my wife then at the time to Germany to come stay with me. And then George Bush orders us to a 96 turnaround to go to Pakistan. So, again, just got back from Iraq. Let's go to Pakistan.
Which felt like a vacation compared to Iraq, I'm sure.
At
least it's Pakistan. At least it's that way.
Yeah, you go the other way. Yeah, so I went to Pakistan. Did like 6-7 months in Pakistan.
Wow.
And we came back. And then from there, I came here. From Pakistan, I went back to Germany. And then from there, I was supposed to get them to come over. Finally come over to Germany. But there's like, you know what? You can re-enlist. You can pick anywhere. You can go and the Army will put you there. I was like, can I go home? I say, where's home? I was like, Hawaii. And then they looked it over. He's like, yeah, you can go home. I was like, oh, let's do it. So I re-enlisted 5 years, came back home, and then we stayed here. and right back to Iraq. About 2 months, came home because they're like, yeah, the unit that you're going to at home, they just arrived from Iraq. No, she had it backwards.
Oh, man.
They're about to get ready to go to Iraq. And so I came here 2 months here in Hawaii. Hi, hello everybody. Boom, right back to Iraq.
So what in all of that?
And that's how that's why it didn't work.
What changed your heart to love the military after that? Because I would have been like, I despised you guys before. I despise you more now.
But you know what? I'll be honest. It fed my daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It gave us the opportunity to actually put something on the table, and then the housing was good. I mean, I had no ambitions of saving money. I just wanted to make sure that my daughter was alive.
Yeah.
And
but how many years of that? So that's a lot of years, though.
Yeah. So
that's happening.
From 2003 to 2007, I was in and out. I was never home. I would say from 2003 to 2007, family time was maybe a year.
Wow.
Because a lot of people don't understand, but before we deploy, we actually do 6 to 7 months of training, and you're never home. You're probably home, and then you go to NCC in California for like 45 months, not 45 months. I'm sorry, 45 days, maybe more, 60 days sometimes, and then you come here, and then we have another training in the Big Island. You go over there for another month, month and a half. At least that's what I had to experience. So you're never like, So I come home, my daughter was like getting bigger, and then we had a son. And I missed all their first birthdays, second birthdays, everything. Christmases was through like Skype back then. That's how we had with Skype. Yeah, it was crazy. That's how it was.
Man.
So like maybe a year and a half of family time for the first 7 years. And then our marriage fell apart. And then I met my wife now, Eleanor, and then we didn't have kids then. We were just together at the time. And we got married. And then I went back to Afghanistan for 1 month.
Oh, bro. Nice. Wow, that's a lot, man. So that must have been hard though. Like, not the deployment's hard. I'm just like, man, that's like God is sovereign, man. God knows, but that's gotta be. If I wasn't a Christian, that's the most unluckiest set of circumstances I ever heard.
But it was, well, I got to give it to the Army on that one. The last one was actually on me.
Okay.
There's a story behind that. When me and my wife got together, Eleanor, my wife now got together, I wanted a wedding for her. And I didn't have enough money to give her whatever she wanted for her special day. So, and the only option I had, the only way I knew that I can get a whole lump sum or a good amount of money in a year span was to deploy. Because the military was just cashing everybody out. And I told her, it's a shot in the dark. It's actually a huge risk. But if I make it out alive, if I make it back, you get your wedding. So I deployed. I re-enlisted for Afghanistan to go one more time because I knew if I come back, that was the end of my contract and I was going to get out anyway. But at least now, if you want your wedding, I can go get your wedding and I'll be back. And that's how it was.
Yeah.
So went to Afghanistan. So every single day.
I just think Eleanor would have been happy to have you.
Every single day. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Don't kill me.
Boys, you understand, man. I got a wedding to get to.
Getting bothered at 4 in the morning in your sleep, and you're like, are they close? No, it'll be fine. I think you're close. Yeah, so I came back, thankfully. I came back and got her the way that she wanted, and the rest is history.
Man, how was that connecting with your daughter and your son, man, after you've been missing it?
It was tough, because the whole. But
you thought that's the crazy part, right? You're doing it for them.
Yeah,
you're doing it for them. But just going back to what we talked about earlier, man, presence matters too.
Yeah, there's that, and it was hard because I'm not physically there, and 15-minute phone calls is not gonna not going to do anything. It's just going to have them understand that I have a father somewhere in the world.
Pakistan.
In Pakistan.
Bro, can you imagine?
In Iran.
She went and she said at one point in school, I got a dad, he's in Pakistan, and everybody's like, she got a Pakistani.
She's got a Pakistani dad.
Her dad is Pakistani.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
Yeah, that's hard, man.
yeah, it was tough, man. And then anybody can say like, you just gotta toughen through it. Like, but unless you see how those people are over there, that was like the biggest thing for me was, it was really horrible for me because I'm like a homebody, right? Like, and God was like homebody. Oh, here we go, here you go. But seeing people in Pakistan, living in tents and like 30-degree weather, waking up to how cold that. I mean, it's like, you make. That's why I call home is like be grateful and be thankful. The things that we have and what we don't have. You know what I mean? Because there's people out here in the world that's just not in living conditions that anybody should be.
Yeah, for sure, man. How did that so it obviously changed your view of the military, being in it, even towards military people?
Yeah. I appreciated everybody's background. I understood that they all come from different backgrounds. They all have different stories and perspective. They're different, very, very different from each other. I mean, you can live in Oklahoma, one can live in Alabama, and it's like completely different. The way that they talk is different, and the way they like food is different. It's like, and that would make me appreciate it. I opened up my whole heart to like the world and everything, And I took the Aloha spirit with me everywhere I went. Yeah. It's like, look, if you're in my team or I'm in your team, you're my brother, man, and you're my sister, Yeah. And it's like, wait, hold on, bro. Like, we're not. Understand where I'm coming from, dude. Don't take it word for word. Like, understand I'm coming from like a spiritual aspect of this thing. Like, I'll take a bullet for you because you're my brother. It's like, but you're not really. But it's like, it was, you know what I mean? Like, but if you say that to a Polynesian,
we understand.
They understand where you're coming from. Yeah, my brother. Yeah, I love you too, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. We're already there.
Yeah.
But there's some parts of the world it's hard because they already have their guards up and their defenses up. It's like whatever they experience over in that part of the world, it's really hard for them to grasp somebody being genuine, coming in and say, "Oh, he really takes me as a brother or a sister." You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the things too, just even in our church, because I've been pastoring at a church where it's not just Samoan people, it's not just people like me, Filipinos or anything like that. Right. But there's a mix in our church. So like there's a lot of there's Polynesian people, and then there's local people, and then there's Samoan people.
I like that.
But one of the things that we always kind of try to emphasize is you got to understand, like, because what we do when we're growing up is we lump everybody together, right? That's local people, that's the Hawaiians.
Just group them all together. Yeah.
And then that's all the military people. They're all like that. Yeah. They're all this way. They're all this way. But we didn't want it if anybody did that to us, right? But so in our church, like I think that's one of the most beautiful things. Like, as much as you can be united about one common mission or one common goal that you guys have, for us, it should be even deeper as a Christian because, man, one, Jesus was born Jewish but saved all of us, and two, like the gospel, the whole point of it is, man, all of us are messed up. Like, all of us are different stories, but we have one similar story, and that's that all of us are messed up. Jacked up. All of us are sinful, and at the same time, we all got the same Savior. Yep. And we got the same Savior who died on the cross for us, who rose again for us. And if you can't unite over that, man, I don't know what you're lost, doing, bro. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. You're lost. So we try to I try to help our church to see that everybody from different places. Like, if you're military, you come in, you got to understand we have a culture, we have a way about here, and you are a visitor. Right. At the same time, my job as especially the way my dad raised me and being a Samoan, we're always like welcoming. Yeah. So if you're gonna be around, like, you're gonna be treated like family. Yeah. Well, maybe not to start. Think about the beginning. Eventually, everything going right. You should be treated like family right away. Like right away we're gonna take care of you, because you're a guest. You know, and you turn from a guest to family. And I think that what I want to see in the church is, like, man, everybody laying aside the differences, or celebrating the differences.
Celebrating the differences.
And you know what? The differences are differences, but
accept it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. Are we gonna? I'm Samoan, and so are things gonna be done certain ways sometimes at our church just naturally because of who I am. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, of course. But at the same time, it doesn't exclude, the gospel doesn't exclude people.
It doesn't
at all. You know what I mean?
Love is for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing that I love about God is there is no shortcut to his love. Right? It's a straight shot. And it's literally right there in front of you. And it's all about realizing that you are messed up. You got to realize that you're broken, man.
Yeah.
If you have too much pride, you'll never see that.
Yeah.
You'll never see there's anything wrong with the self, right? You're always going to see the wrong in somebody else. And that's the backwards thing that I always talk about when I used to preach is don't be afraid of your differences, man. Understand that you are messed up. I'm messed up. Yeah. Everybody's messed up. But it's not my job to point out you're wrong because I gotta try to figure my stuff out. The great thing about God is he's here for all our wrongs. There's no wrong that's greater than another wrong. Everybody's got the same exact level of sin. I mean, but his love is that's why he took the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah. And I'll always go back to right when he was crucified with the thief that was next to him. I will always go back to that. Every soul that I used to meet, and then it's like, oh, can you tell me something about God? I said, look at the cross, like the literal cross, right? The guy that was next to him probably didn't know him at all his life. Yeah. And all he did was steal from people. All he did.
Yeah, that guy he deserved to be there.
That's where he's supposed to be. Yeah. The other guy too. Yeah. That's what they're supposed to be. Yeah. The guy in the middle. The guy in the middle did not belong there at all. Yeah. But yet he decided, today I'll see you in paradise. Wow, that's deep.
Oh yeah. He didn't give anything to the church yet.
Yeah.
He didn't sing no worship songs yet.
No Bible study.
He didn't go Bible study yet.
He didn't go clean up the beach with the church.
He didn't do any of that.
He didn't bring donuts on the prayer meeting.
He didn't
nothing.
do that.
He didn't fix coffee. Yeah. Nothing. He didn't even be on the no worship. Nothing. Yeah. No experience in the church. Whatever. Yeah. Right. But acknowledgement from that man was what all he needed to think. What? Today I'll see you in paradise. You're forgiven. Like, huh? Wait, hold on. I want to see that guy when if I make it up. Bro, how'd you get the pass, bro?
Yeah, you lucky guy.
Of all days that he could have got caught and get crucified. Oh, yeah. Of all the days he could have got caught and crucified.
I never thought about that.
Of all the days? This is the day you get crucified.
He could have just died with his friend.
He could have got stoned on the street. Of all the days, bro, this is the one day.
Ew.
This is the one day?
That's crazy.
That you get crucified, bro? Right. It's right next to the guy that's going to get you the pass?
Wow.
But that's life, man.
You know what, man? I've been in church a long time. I never thought about that.
That's life, bro.
If Jesus went to the cross for everybody, for sure. Right. For all his people, right? He says he died for them. Believe in Jesus. That's what his sacrifice is for. He saves you. But I never thought about that guy's experience. Imagine for him, because the cross, it looks bad to people. People are like, that's so silly. What a dumb thing to believe. Like that's what he would have to go through. But man, that guy that's in paradise right now, man, he's thinking to himself like, dude,
right?
If the other guy, Barabbas, got crucified instead of Jesus, I would have never been here.
No, forget about it. So
Jesus was like, man, it's almost like, dude, it was almost Jesus, second person of the Trinity, Son of God, right? Knows.
1 for 1, bro.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. And he's like,
he's undefeated, bro.
Jeez.
1 for 1, bro. But that's like a complete picture of how our life is, right?
Man.
On any given day.
Come spend some time at our church on Sunday, man. We're going to work it out. Let's take some afternoon games. Yeah. And you got to come hang out with us, man. That's crazy. I never thought about that.
So that's the complete picture of Christ, though.
That's amazing.
At any given day, you're that guy.
Yeah.
The thief. Yeah. At any given day,
like to him that suffering that he probably went through, that was worth it for that moment to be with Jesus, right?
That's it. Whew. But I mean, so we take that, we put ourselves in that position of the thief, right? Any given day, we could be gone.
Wow,
this is the day. Yeah, he decides to come with me.
Yeah, that's
right.
Crazy. Yeah,
I mean, and so every soul that I used to meet would ask me like, how do you just pick yourself up after understanding I've been abandoned at 6. That's betrayal.
Yeah.
But the one person that's supposed to say that they love me the most, she left.
Yeah.
Every betrayal after that I didn't care about. That one time that she did that was enough for me to be broke. I was broken already at that time.
Wow.
So instead of me trying to break other people, I was carrying my brother through that hurt too, and my sister. So everything that they threw at us, it didn't hurt anymore. I was already numb.
Yeah.
What more can you do to me? Okay, we can eat second. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can eat on the floor. That's fine. If I ask questions, you hit me. That's fine. It's cool. Right. She already left. That was the hurt. I'm already. It's broken. I'm broken already. What more can you? How much more broken do you want me to be? Like everything I went through in life after that betrayal was that, and then I met God.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff that I did to people, fighting and hurting people, coming up, was all because of the betrayal.
Yeah.
And then I met God, and I found the story that he's also was betrayed.
Yeah, he was betrayed. Yeah.
He was betrayed.
Right.
And instead of him burning the world down,
which could have done. Yep.
Which he could have done.
Could have done that.
The God of the Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? We'll get somebody in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead. But if you know what I mean, like you give them multiple chances to get it right. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I took all that experiences, and that's the altar call was when all of it started flooding in. Dude, when you were betrayed, I was there the whole time. I was there the entire time, son.
Oh, wow.
When you were eating second, I was there the whole time. They said that you were adopted. They said that nobody loved you. The whole time, I was there. Now you're finally here. I've been here the whole time. Yeah, I know you're sorry.
Yeah.
I forgive you. And then bang, the floodgates just came. And I was just sitting there when you were disrespecting the elders and throwing beer bottles at my people. And then I was here the whole time.
Damn.
All you need to do is acknowledge that you were broken. Just say that you're broken. That's all. Because God won't force himself into anybody. He's God. It's like the father, right? My son would make multiple mistakes every day. I can see him. I see him running around, throwing stuff around. He's not supposed to be there, Tama. Not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be doing that. He finally gets hurt. He goes, Dad, I got hurt. I go, why did you get hurt? Because of this. Now you understand, right? Yeah. Are you going to do it again? No. Same thing. I've been watching the entire time. That's what he's been telling me.
Yeah.
God's been saying, like, I've been watching the entire time, son. I was just waiting for you to come back and tell me, hey, okay, I'm hurt. How can you fix that? I've tried everything.
Yeah.
I've tried drinking. I've tried fighting. I've tried adultery. I've tried sleeping with other people's wives. I've tried everything. Wait. I didn't explain. I've tried everything.
We got. Can we elaborate?
I've tried everything. So when I said I was a rotten dude, I was a rotten dude, right? But that's what it was. And it's like, as soon as I reached that, and I felt like Lighthouse Outreach Center at that time when I was throwing beer bottles, I felt like that was the gateway to, okay, it's time to get this guy fixed. And it was like, God, hey, you want to come play basketball? Tried playing basketball, don't know how to play basketball. Oh yeah, sure. It's like all these things start adding up to me. And then,
well, I think that what it is like, because I know that there's there's this idea, right, that God doesn't, and we struggle with it, right? The language of it, like God doesn't force himself on people. Yeah. At the same time, right, like what we believe about God is that God is pursuing people, right? Like he's proactively, he's active in your life and he's pursuing you. He's calling out to you. He's like, and before you were, which I love that you even said that, before you were even considering God, he was there pursuing you, like, right? Like drawing you to himself. And I think that it's amazing because there's a lot of people probably in the community, right, that are struggling with, and they can't express it. They can't express why they're struggling. Right. They can't express I don't feel, I didn't feel loved as a kid, Like I don't feel like I'm enough. I don't feel like I measure up in all those things.
Not worthy.
Yeah, I'm not worthy. All those things, right?
I've done too much.
Yeah. There's a lot more people that feel like that don't feel like they can say it. And we always talk about it. We try to talk with our kids about it that, man, my love for you isn't going to change as a father, right? But when you think about God, right, he's the only person that knows, like, before you even share like any of the things that you struggle with or that you was a crazy guy. Crazier than I remember. Crazier than I thought. This is my son's football coach, everybody. But before you even shared any of that, right? All everybody needs to know is this. God knows the worst part about you. Mm-hmm. The worst. Stuff that you don't want nobody to hear. And he loves you anyway.
Yeah.
Like the world isn't like that. You know, like we try to be like that. We try to be loving. We try to be kind. We try to be, we try to be all those things, right? And then one of the things, we're preaching on love tomorrow. We just walk through books of the Bible at our church. Right. And so tomorrow is 1 Corinthians 13. That's just what we had planned. And in that passage, right, he talks about love. And it says that love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. Right. Right. And so God's love, God is love. Yeah. And so God's not out here for his people keeping a record of wrongs, saying, hey man, like you look at all the bad things you did. Right. At the same time, love doesn't rejoice in wrongdoing. Right. Right. And so it doesn't go like, it's okay. It's okay that you did that. Or it's okay that he still loves me. Yeah, he still loves me. It's okay that, or I think the other part that for our people and for people that I know is it's okay to acknowledge that people did wrong to you. Yeah. Like it's okay to acknowledge like,
that
man,
is deep, bro.
Hey, that hurt me, but that's what makes the forgiveness real, right? Like if God said, I forgive you, Matt, but you never did anything wrong, like what does that forgiveness mean? That means nothing. As a matter of fact, that's insulting to me that you would forgive me. About? Right. But the thing that makes the forgiveness that we show people, that we're called to give people is, man, there was a real wrong there. You really did hurt me. You really did, dude. But I forgive you. I don't hold that against you at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's loving to do that too,
Yeah. Love, and that's what I love about love, right? It's not just a word; it's a spirit. Because God said that's who He is.
God is love.
God is love. Yeah. God is love. Love is everything. And it's like, oh well, love makes you do crazy things. No, that's not love. That's you. That's you manipulating it and to make it being about like something that's not. No, God is love, accepting, forgiving, right? So doing everything with understanding that you don't need to get anything back, right? Giving without feeling like, oh man, anything outside of that, like, well, I hope he does something right with it. Nah, love is just releasing, dude. Yeah. Just release it. Yeah, it's not yours to hold on to. You got to share it. I can't say that I love somebody and then treat them like dirt. Yeah, or you can't say that you're doing God's work and treat other people like dirt. That's not love.
Yeah,
love,
100%.
And. Shoot, I lost the train of thought here. But.
No, that's good. I was thinking about it, like as you said it, like you can't loving people, right? It's not a feeling. That's why I think that's the way we get it wrong. Right? As in our culture, love is this emotional feeling. Like you're attracted to a person. That's I love them. I don't know why I feel this way. Love wants what it wants. Like that ain't love. Like love is action, right? Yeah, it's an action. When God said He loved us, He sent His Son, right? For God loved the world in this way that He sent His only Son.
The only one.
To die on the cross for your sins. So that everybody who believes in Him, right, would not perish. But so love is action. Like love is doing, like I can say I love my wife all day long, but if I'm holding record of wrongs, I'm not loving her. You're
not loving her.
Yeah, if I'm insisting on my own way, I'm not loving her,
And if I'm doing it to try to manipulate a situation and gain for self-gain.
For self-gain. For self-happiness.
That's not love.
Yeah.
If I'm massaging your feet. If I'm massaging your feet because of something else.
That ain't love.
That's not love. Is that love? That's not
what
love.
Is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt. We still
But, it's and the crazy thing, going back to what you're saying about you don't have to know God to be accepted by God. That's what true love is. That Jesus is the only person that'll love you before you even know who He is. Because now we walk around like, how can you say you love her? You guys only met each other like yesterday. That's a different type. That's just emotion.
Yeah. That's emotion.
Yeah. When you talk about spirituality stuff, that's a different. That's another dimension of love. Yeah.
The way I think about it is when Jesus said. He says I think it was in His last prayer before he got betrayed by His friends.
It's crazy.
Judas is wild out, bro.
The poor guy.
Judas, you idiot. Before his friend was acting up, when he prays, he says, Father, love them. I want them to like love them with the love that you loved me, right? Like love them like you loved me. And then he says a couple of verses later, Lord, you love me from before the foundations of the world. So you loved me before the world was even created. And what Jesus wants for his people is, he's reminding them, if God loves you exactly how he loved me, that means he loved you before the foundation of the world was laid.
Yeah.
Before anything was ever created, God set his love on his people. I think that's the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
And so I have a question.
It's who he is.
Yeah, that's who he is. He is love. When did you meet your wife? Your Elle?
Oh, we met in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after everything.
Yeah, it was actually like crossing over. Okay, this is a massive story behind that.
We got time.
Okay, so in the middle of a turmoil between me and my ex-wife, we were going through the whole stages of, are we going to be together? Or are we not going to be? Because there's like a series of events that happened when I was in Iraq between her and somebody else in the church.
Okay.
And it turned into me not lashing out, but going off and doing my own thing with various other people while I was still married to her. We're both doing like the do-si-do with each other, and then both playing the victim with each other, pointing the finger at each other.
Right.
Completely being two big adult idiots, completely not seeing our kids. Because we had 2 kids. We have 2 kids together.
And you guys haven't even spent much time with each other either.
Yeah, it was because of the whole disconnect. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was constantly gone and this and that, right? So we almost like went into this whole open marriage situation.
Oh, no.
You do your thing, I do my thing. And it was kind of like, back to the do-si-do. But then it got crazy to the point where it ended up being my best friend. She was doing the whole do-si-doing with.
Oh no.
But so yeah, those long story short,
we don't plan any of these, bro.
None of this is on the script. There's no papers in front of us.
No papers, bro. I got a sticker and that's it. All right. So what happened?
Yeah. So in the middle of all that, I found out it was my best friend that came to live with me because he was going through hard times and he needed. So I said, you know what? Come stay with me. Whenever you feel like you're strong on your feet, you can go ahead, save money, whatever, And
I'm just thinking about the story, man. You had a tough life, man.
Save money, do this and all that, right?
Gosh,
and then Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve was
bro, that's crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Christmas Eve, I guess, is this when it all went down.
Man.
And then in the middle of
and this is why you're deployed though. You're not home.
No, I was home this time.
Oh, you're home this time.
The other 2 times I was deployed.
Okay.
The third time I was here.
Okay.
And it was always with people that I knew. The only people that what's up, bro? Let's break bread, bro. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm not saying that she was 100% in the wrong because I was also doing my own thing. But that was kind of like
it's not healthy.
Yeah, it wasn't healthy for everybody. So it kind of like, okay, we got to stop this.
Yeah.
Because now it's getting real close to home now. Yeah. Now it's with my friends now. And we decided that we were going to part ways. Well, we agreed we were going to part ways, right? So I met Eleanor. And Eleanor was kind of like my saving grace, man. Because she was going through her own turmoil in her own life. And then both of us.
You guys met out here in Hawaii, or
no? We knew each other for a long time.
Oh,
so my best friend that she do-si-doed with.
I just like, dang, man, best friend.
They're related. Okay. Related. I'm not gonna say any names because
don't say no names.
Everybody knows.
It's a small, very community.
Small. Yeah. But anyway, they're related. So we knew each other. Me and Elle, we go back long time, long time. So family stuff or hanging out at the beach with the friends. So we knew of each other long. So it wasn't hard at all for us to click. But it was just going through the whole process of heartache, and she was going through her whole process of heartache. I was going through it, and then one night at the bar, we're just talking story, and then we met up going movies together, and then I started to kind of like part ways with my ex-wife in a serious okay, I found somebody. She was still doing around with dudes that she liked or whatever, but doing her thing. When she found out that I was being serious, now it's a problem. Now we gotta stop this. Now she's a homewrecker. Now she's coming in and messing up my house and blah, 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 blah. I was like, no. You can paint whatever picture you want, Well, we both know the truth. Everybody in our circle knows the truth. So that's kind of how it was. It was a very, very nasty breakup, nasty divorce. But we're good friends now. After 14 years of going through it, we're good friends now. Me and Elle are 14 years
and
married
your kids, it's tough on them.
Yeah, it was tough on my daughter.
Yeah,
my daughter was tough because they had to move to Alaska after we finalized the divorce. I think 2 years after we finalized the divorce, they went to Alaska. My son was, I want to say he was 6.
Wow,
Tama's age now. Tony and Tama's age now.
Wow.
Yeah. So and my daughter was 10.
That's hard.
Tristan's age. Jeez. Okay. So like my boy's age is different right now.
Yeah.
So they had to move to Alaska with my ex-wife and her boyfriend at the time, which oddly knew each other a lot too close during the whole divorce. So there's a whole story. And then, but yeah, so that's what happened. And 14 years later, we're all kind of like grew up out of all the whole process, and everybody's good now.
Yeah.
So
What was kind of what lesson you took into your relationship with Elle that you felt like, hey, God grew me in this area that I wasn't prepared for the first time? Or,
it was family is everything.
Yeah.
Like literally my relationship with my kids is everything. Because mind you now, my first 2 kids, and it's not an excuse, I was gone all the time. So, and Elle will tell you this, when Tristan was teething, first time I ever saw teeth come out, I was at a store.
You had 2 kids, you never seen a kid teeth.
Never seen the teething.
Man.
Never seen the first steps.
It's I know that Iraq was crazy, bro, but it's horrible when you're teething.
But when we was at a store. It was a baby store.
Yeah.
We was at a baby store looking for somebody's baby shower gift. And I was walking Tristan to the stroller. I looked up and he kind of like had this drool coming down. And I saw 1 tooth, bro, and I broke down, man.
Man.
I started crying. I was bawling. And she goes, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I see teeth. Like, he's got teeth."
Man.
So, yeah, and first 5 years of Tristan's life, I was with him because I wasn't working. And my wife was working at the time. She was the breadwinner. And I was going through my own process of trying to, get into the system and trying to find a good job, good career. I was going to school, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I got really close to Tristan, and that's why he only eats French fries. And
he do whatever, huh?
Yeah.
That's your buddy.
Yeah, that's my boy. And then Tama now is his own child. It's just like the mom, because now we flipped. Now I'm working, and my wife is at home with Tama. So
that's awesome.
Two very different boys. One is exactly like me, but bigger. Yeah. One's exactly like the mom, but smaller. It's crazy.
Man.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, it is a blessing raising kids, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing for sure.
But I think one of the understated important things, and I know this just because when I noticed when I was a kid and my parents weren't right, for whatever reason, it never felt good being home even, I think about the times when I was the most stressed or the most sad or the most frustrated at school, my parents were either arguing or something like that was going on, But I notice it even now with my own kids, like when Leah and I aren't like on the same page, or if we're arguing or something, something like that, or especially earlier on in our marriage, having a blow up or something, you know, like man, my kids don't feel safe, they don't feel good, they don't want to pick between mom and dad, right? Like one of the best things you can do for your kids is, and it doesn't mean that if you come from a place where there is that God can't redeem it and God can't make it, beautiful again, but for us, I know. Man, when we're right, when I'm loving her and when she's loving me and there's just honor and respect in the house towards my wife, and man, my kids feel safe, they feel good. And, they we provide that. I think one of the best things, just like when you're talking about with sometimes the church can take precedent over the family.
Right.
Sometimes that can happen. I think sometimes what I'm learning is the kids can take precedent over the marriage. And then all of a sudden, like you think you're doing a good thing for the kids when you're not. What they need is mom and dad to love each other and be on the same page. Right?
Be on the same page.
And then they feel safe and then they feel united and then they feel comfortable, at home and they feel,
That's what I love about my life now. My wife, she checks everything. I mean, not like going through phones. She checks me, bro.
Check you.
Like, bam. Yeah. What are you doing? Like, Why do you do certain things?
My
Right?
wife be checking me on like, what did you buy from 7-Eleven? I'm like,
Bro,
I'm like, man, I don't know. It was
I was hungry.
I was hungry, man.
Hey.
I got me a cheese stick. I wanted to try the new cheese stick and the new shrimp.
The shrimp tempura they have, or the
shrimp tempura roll.
Oh, by the way, can I get a bag of new purse? It's like, okay, so my shrimp is gonna take the whole house in a budget.
Nah,
now.
who's look around, bro? I can't say that to my wife at all. Like, I am the one. The relationship in this house, bro, is flipped. I'm over there like, can we go shopping?
Hey, as soon as I walked through the door, I goes, man, Chris is doing Chris and Leah, man. They're balling. No, this is nice, beautiful. You got a beautiful home.
My
man.
wife was an engineer, that's why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was an engineer.
Oh, it's a beautiful home,
Yeah.
man.
No, so like God really it's crazy. So how we got this home is we know that it's God because we were at a place and one of our friends just encouraged me like buy a place. So we bought a place. And then 4 years later, like he's one of my best friends, and he was like, "Man, sell your place now." And I'm thinking to myself, like, "No, bro, I like it out here, man.
It's a nice.
I like it out here." But this was in Kapolei when we were living.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up looking around. And was like, I was like, Leah, he said buy a place, and we trust him. Yeah. So we drove around here, and I grew up in Waipahu, but. So growing up in Waipahu, you always knew this gated park existed here. So we'd come hop the fence and play on the 8-foot rims to try to dunk because we're Samoan. We ain't dunking. So maybe you could. I couldn't.
No, not me.
When I was little, my brother and I used to come up here from Waipahu and we walk up and man, I want to live here one day.
It's a whole new world up here, man.
So we came, my wife and I actually drove and we were looking at places and we came to this road and we actually prayed for this cul-de-sac. We wanted to be here.
Nice.
We prayed. Literally, when we got home, the house was enlisted. There was no houses listed. When we got home, the house was listed that day.
Wow.
I called my friend up. He couldn't. He was like, "Oh man, like no, that's a little bit above what you guys would want to pay." So we said, "All right, we're not gonna get it. That's fine. We'll keep looking." I wanted to live where I wanted to live. Waipahu, because I know like
right there.
I wanted some street cred back. I went Iolani, I was like, I want to live on the block. That's where I want to live.
Got it.
Because I wanted to plant a church out there. So what's funny is God ended up working it out where we could purchase the house and we bought it. And now the house is worth way more than what we bought it for. So God's been really gracious, man. But you know what? For a lot of the things we're doing, and like you coaching me, what we're doing, and you working, doing all the stuff you're doing, school, couldn't do without our wives. I couldn't.
Yeah.
My wife she was an engineer for a long time. She was like, she was supporting us.
And that's big money stuff, man.
Yeah,
that ain't no cheap. That's big money stuff.
Most of what I got was purchased while my wife was an engineer. And then after that,
she's not engineering anymore.
She ended up stopping. So she homeschools our kids.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
That's a secret. Don't tell nobody about that. The secret is the homeschooling and speech and debate club. That's the secret.
Wow. Nice.
So my wife ended up during COVID. My wife decided to homeschool my daughter. She was good at it, and she ended up deciding to homeschool my son. And so we also wanted to give our kids like a Christian education as best we could. And so my wife ended up coming home. And so when she came home, then we adjust and we were able to live. But we did pray like that God help us to be generous still and help us to be as generous as possible. And so it was good. I mean, God definitely took care of us. But my wife was.
That's awesome, man.
I was living it up with my wife. I was eating at Chili's.
Swipe.
Chili's. I'm going to Chili's. Now I was
favorite restaurant.
I was like, bro, what is this 7-Eleven? I do not go to 7-Eleven. My wife was like, do not go to 7-Eleven.
Come straight home.
Yeah, go straight home.
Don't make any stops. Come straight home.
Yeah, man. So my wife basically she keeps track of everything in our family, but that's part of it, man. Like, man, couldn't do it without them.
Prayer works, man.
Yeah.
Prayer is like that direct connection, right? Outside of worship. To me, I've always felt that worship is one of the most important aspects of your relationship with God, because prayer is like, we're talking, me and the Father, just you and me. You already know what I need, right? You already know. And the thing with prayer is, and a lot of Christians don't get it, is, well, if you don't get it and it's you haven't prayed, no, because God answers prayers. And a no is an answer.
A no is a good answer sometimes.
A no is a good answer.
Like the way I heard it, one of my seminary professors said it once was, he said that God answers the prayers the way he answers those prayers that you would have prayed had you known what God knows.
Yeah.
Right. So like if your kid asks you for a rock, or if he asks you for bread, you're not gonna go give him a rock.
Yeah.
But sometimes kids are idiots. Yeah. and they be asking for rocks. They ask you for rocks, and you're like, no, son, you're gonna eat this bread. And God knows, right? There's a lot of things you ask for that a good thing God said no. You know.
Yeah. And sometimes, a lot of times, the answer is gonna be no.
Yeah.
And you just gotta sit there and they say, okay, if it's a no, there's something greater.
Yeah.
Just understand and trust the process. Yeah. That's what faith is all about. It's like, Father, you know, I really need this. I really want this. And what the hell? Your friends really want that.
Yeah.
You just want it because your friends want it. And you want that, you know, hey, bro, wow, it's a nice ride. You don't need it. No, you don't need that. You know what I mean? Just understand that no is a good answer, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And it's like, and I've experienced that one time. I was talking with God, and I was like, I just want a moment where I can speak with my wife with nobody bothering me. And we're going to a conference, and you're supposed to pay attention at a conference. And I remember me and my wife was going the whole car ride. There's no radio. I just not even noticing what's going on. I'm not noticing anything.
This is it.
Yeah. Talking with her about everything. Even at the conference, there's like a delay or something. We sat there. It was just me and her talking. And I had a bunch of friends at the conference. And nobody came, hey, TK Matt. No, nobody. Not a single soul came to shake hands or say hi or whatever. Even to my wife. So we just talking story for like 30, 45 minutes straight. And we got down to the nitty gritty of a lot of stuff that we were going through that whole week. Because I really felt that if I don't take the chance to repair this or try to really understand and listen to my wife, I'm going to miss out on this. I'm going to miss out on this woman, or something bad's really going to happen. And that whole time I was like, if I can just get her just in front of me the whole time I was praying, visualizing what I really needed was exactly what he gave me. Yeah. The car ride to the conference back home, eating dinner, was like nobody, even the kids, it's like nobody came, nobody called, nobody texted. And not until 2 weeks later, I was complaining about something else. Yeah. He flashes that in my head. You remember when you asked for this? And I sat there like an idiot.
And you didn't tell him thank you. You didn't like, hey, Dad, by the way, thank you, Father. Appreciate it.
And I didn't, that's what I mean. I didn't realize at the moment what was going on. I sat there when he flashed it back to me. He goes, you remember when you asked for this? I gave it to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. But, and sometimes he does that, man. Yeah. He's going to take you through the whole process of understanding who he is before he gives you what you actually need.
That's why I trip out on I really do. And this is no slight on any Christians at all. This is not a slight. This is what I believe. And I believe I can defend it from the Bible. But this is why I trip out on the people that talk about, if you worship God or you give God this, that all of a sudden he's gonna bless you with these things, or he's gonna give you money or things like that. I'm like, man, the gospel is way better than that. He shows you that none of it really matters in the first place. The best part about the gospel is you get God, you get forgiveness,
everything.
If you get Jesus was homeless, Jesus he had a heart. He needed a miracle to pay his taxes. He put it out church. He put it out the fish. like sucking guy. And he gave him the coin. I'm like, oh, that's what I need. I was like, I got some taxes this year. That's what I need. But that's what he had to do. He relied on his father, and at the same time, right? Who are we to think that if that's what it looked like for Jesus to follow God, and I follow God, why would I expect anything different? Why would I expect that? Man, I follow God and my life gets easier. No, you follow God and sometimes life gets harder.
It's good, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna run into it's whether you follow God or not, you're gonna have struggles.
Right.
You're gonna go through it.
Yeah.
But it's the beauty of being with God is understanding that He's there whenever you need it.
Yeah.
It's not like is he like an ATM? No, dude, stop thinking about money for a second here. Let's just think about money, your life in general, right? Yeah. It's like having the bestest of friends, dude. Even sometimes I love my wife, but I can't talk to her. So I just sit there and I talk to God. And it's
I gotta do that. I gotta do that more, man.
Sometimes I can't talk to my wife about a lot of things. Like, dude, I'm so like I need to talk. So I vent to God, and everything gets better after that. I say we're always gonna have issues. We're always gonna have problems, and people are like, "Well, I never ran into these issues before I was a Christian." No, you did. You just don't realize the severity of it until you met God, because He gives you the sound mind to go through it and making the right choices for it. That's why it's so much harder. Because we go through it, and before we met God, I was like, just leave him.
Yeah.
And then we would ditch the issue, and then it would circle back stronger, and then we're like, I just leave him. And with God, it's like, deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the strength to deal with it.
Yeah.
I have the knowledge I can give you to deal with this.
Yeah.
But then we still go through the baby steps of, I don't know. I'll come back. I'll come back to it. And then we do it again.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've never had this problem. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always have the same issues.
Yeah.
We've just never understood how to handle it then. But now you have knowledge of both sides now, right? Should I ditch or should I fight it and then fix it? And majority of the time, we're going to revert back to who we were before Him.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'll just ditch it.
Yeah.
And then God makes you stronger. We say, you know what? When it comes back around, I'll finish it.
Yeah.
I'm going to handle it this time.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty with God for me. Is like, everybody's like, you're always so upbeat and this and that. I was like, yeah, because I went through a lot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bro, we covered it all. Yeah. Man.
I've been through a lot, man.
You know what's nuts though? I would have never, this is the good thing, the good news about the gospel is, man, I would have never knew any of those things.
Yeah.
I would have never knew any of those things that you went through, because the guy I met was this guy that's patient with my son, the best. Like, man, my son throw 3 picks and he just being encouraged.
Yeah.
And not only being encouraged, but like coaching him up. I've seen how you work with difficult kids, with my kid when he's being difficult. Man, always gracious to the kids and always gracious to the parents.
Yeah.
So I would have never known that about you.
Yeah.
Because that's how transformed you are. You're the guy that you were talking about is unrecognizable to me.
Right.
Because of who you are. And not only you, but your wife and how she takes care of that's the first thing we noticed when we came, how your wife takes care of the kids and how on top of it she is, that was like such a big heart for all the kids. And I told Leah, I was like, man, I don't even know them, but like, I feel like Elle is just wanting to take care of her. Like, she's like, waited with Ella. She waited with my daughter. She checked on Tony. She grabbed his water bottle. And she didn't just grab. She washed it and filled it up. And I'm like, man.
And that's glory. The glory returns, man.
Yeah.
And that transformation is all God. And we used to say it all the time when we used to go to church. Our slogan was, "It's all Jesus." Everything we do, it's all Jesus. We do it because it's Him in us that does it for us. If it was Smitty back then, forget about it.
I don't want to be Smitty.
I would have been cussing all on the field. I was like, "Get off to me!"
I heard Smitty came out last season though. I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
That coach is gonna get it, man. But it was just one of those things. Like, I was telling the coaches when we had a meeting about it. I'm passionate about everything that I do.
Right.
And it's all led by love.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that just because.
Oh yeah.
Because
sure.
I was a kid that was taken from me. And once I received it from God, I don't ever want to be taken. Now I want to share that. Yeah. Right. So that passion it's in everything that I do. I put 110% in everything from my heart. Whether I meet new people at work, whether I meet people in the field, wherever, even the coaches that we play against, everything is from my heart. And I wholeheartedly credit that to God. That's all Him. That's all Him on the play calling. That's all Him being graceful and gracious to the kids. That's all God, right? And I always tell my wife that the people that when you serve, you have to have that the servant's heart. You cannot be you serving, because then you're not going to serve. You're doing it for gain. Yeah. Right?
Or you're going to run out of patience, man. Yeah, you're going to run out of all of that. Because everybody talks about wanting to be a servant like Jesus. Yeah. It's impossible. But nobody wants to be like, you like that until you're treated like a servant.
Yeah. And it's like, okay,
hold on. It's like, hold on. Wait a minute. You don't know who I am. Like, this and that. But that's what I meant when I said you have to remove yourself if you want to serve. You got to remove yourself, and God's got to be the one doing it. Because when God's doing it, it's all love.
and there's nothing expecting. I'm not expecting anything to come back. It's got to go because that blessing's got to bless somebody else. If I want the blessing back, then I'm not going to do it. Right? It's like, oh, the guy on the street, right? That's panhandling or whatever. If I'm giving this $1 because I feel guilty, that if I don't give it, I won't be blessed. Don't give it.
Yeah.
Just hold on to it.
Yeah.
You know, that's like that.
Yeah.
And all the glory goes back to
It's
God. Man.
there's an illustration that one of he was gonna be a mentor of mine, actually. Kind of fell off in ministry, but an illustration that he uses about love. You know, there's that passage, 1 Corinthians 13, that if you speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but you have love, you're a noisy gong, you're a clanging cymbal. If you have faith to move mountains, but you do not have love, you gain nothing. If you give your body over to be burned, right, or you give your body over
that sacrifice
for glory,
means nothing.
right? That sacrifice means nothing, right? Right? You are nothing.
Yeah.
And when I look at all those things, right? So the illustration he uses is, if you could imagine like a kite string, a kite is flying, and imagine a kite could talk, right? It could develop a personality. The kite would feel like, man. It would feel two things. The first thing it would feel is like, man, well, I can fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this feels good. Like the wind is blowing. I'm up here. But then it would notice something immediately. It would feel like, but something's holding me back.
Yeah.
There's something pulling me down. There's something weighing me down. It's the string. It's the string that keeps me here. And if the string wasn't here, I'd be gone. I could be myself. And he said, everybody knows though, that if the string snaps, right? Like the kite thinks to itself, like, man, this string is limiting my freedom, right? This love that I gotta treat people this way, like this is limiting who I can be.
Yeah.
And he says, if this string snaps, right, then that kite who thought he could fly would fall to the ground, be paper and sticks and all that, just in a pile of rubble, trash. It wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't do anything good. And so he says that love, when it comes to gifts, when it comes to serving, when it comes to all those things, love it does the same thing for the Christian as the kite string does. It keeps you tied down. It keeps you weighed down.
Yeah.
You feel like it's a burden sometimes, but it's that very thing that allows you to fly. It's that very thing that allows you to soar, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Christian love does, because no matter any gift you have, any sacrifice you make, anything that you do in life, if it doesn't have love, God's saying this is trash.
Yeah.
Right?
It's nothing. Yeah.
It's nothing.
It means nothing.
Right. And so the same thing with our, like, you know, especially as husbands, especially, it applies to every relationship, with us with kids, with us with each other, with us in the church, but it's specific. But for men, especially if you're married to your wife, this is the kind of love that you're called to show her, right? Love is Christ loved the church. That's lay your life down. You feel like it shackles you, but it doesn't. It allows you to be who God needs you to be.
And that's what led to, I wouldn't say I'm passionate when I love my wife. And the man that I had that altercation with last season he was disrespecting my wife. He didn't know that was my wife.
Yeah.
But I came in, try to dismantle the situation and say, hey, is everything okay? And then he said, this B over here talking on her ass. And I was like, I didn't know that was my wife standing on this side here, because there's a lot of women, of our team moms are standing there, and all his team moms are standing with him. And he was just like, really angrily, like, and he's a good sized dude, right? Yeah. I look over and go, wait, hold on. I had to double check who he exactly was talking to.
I hope.
It's like, in a split second, I was like, I know, bro. I know you're not pointing at my wife with the black hat. And he goes,
you was hoping I was standing there, yeah? I hope he's pointing at Christian right now. Like,
but the second I connected it, because he was still going, I completely lost myself. It was because it reverted all the way back to the 6-year-old. You're not taking my love away, man.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it's not even about that, right? But it was like, okay, I've got it now. You're not taking this back.
Yeah.
And then everything came back. I was going to unleash it onto this guy, and he had nothing to do with any of that.
But what would happen if you turned to wife and you saw Elle there, and she went, Smitty? You're like, it's over.
It's funny because a lot of my friends from my house still call me by Smitty. And
that's how people know you, actually. Yeah. I was talking to somebody at like a random pool one day, and I was like, bro, you know Matt? He's like, oh, like Smitty? Like, yeah, I know Smitty. I'm like, y'all can't remember Matt, but you remember Smitty? That's ridiculous.
No, yeah. A lot of people are
ridiculous.
Say, Coach Matt. I goes, huh? And you say, oh, Smitty. Oh, yeah, I know. Because even Coach La was talking with my family. He goes, hey, Smitty coaches on your team. He goes, who's that?
Yeah.
So I go, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's what they told me. I was like, Smitty. I was like, Like, I was like, Matt? Like, nope, have no idea who that is. Like,
Yeah.
he said he was with my pa. I was like, nope, don't know him. Smitty? I might have to go to Star Lounge. Like, hey, man.
Yeah, that's the only name they know me by.
Man.
But going back to that transformation, right? It's I remember my old pastor, rest in his soul, he preached about that, the transformation. And it's like he's not looking for an exchange between your sin with his greatness, right? The transformation happens. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm backtracking here because maybe I'm confusing it with what somebody else said, but he's not looking for the change. He's looking for the exchange of you with him. He's not trying to change who you are and then keep you. He's trying to exchange who you used to be with who he is. Mm-hmm. And that's where the transformation happens. It took me a while, right? Because I was still like very stubborn. Like, no, I'm still me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like what God does is it's a new creation. So he makes you new. He makes you brand new. What is it? Ephesians 2? For you were dead in your trespasses and sins in which you once walked, right? Following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived. I got to do it like this because this is how I remember.
Yeah.
Among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, following the desires of your body and of your mind, and were by nature children of wrath, like the rest of mankind. But God, being rich in mercy, right? Yeah. Because of the great love with which he loved us, he made us alive together with Christ. And the whole idea there is like, man, your identity was this. Yeah. You were dead in your sins. You were dead in your trespasses. But because of God, whatever came before that doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. But because of God and because of his grace and because of his mercy, you're made new before you do anything right or wrong. Before you've done anything, he makes you new. And not only does he give you salvation, right? Mm-hmm. But he gives you, at the end of that chapter, it says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good things, which God prepared beforehand for us to walk in. Beforehand. Right?
Crazy.
So you were made for salvation, but you were also made for these new things that I got for you. Like this new, more fulfilling, more satisfying way of life
just
that I got for you.
Just a brand new way of life.
Right.
And the brand new experience pretty much, you know. It's like the Moses with the whole, the promise, with the promised land and everything. It's like, promised. So again, it's the promised land. Promised, as in he already had it prepared for you before you even knew about it. And that's how God is, and that's how great he is. Mm-hmm. I mean, if people really just sit down and we would never be able to grasp how great God is. Mm-hmm. But knowing that he's got already not just a plan now, but he's already got the blueprint for how you're going to be 10 years from now. Yeah. And all you got to do is have the faith to follow along. Mm-hmm. Just go, I understand. I trust what you're going to do. And then because I never thought I'd be a youth football coach. A long shot. I just wanted my son to join the flag football team.
Yeah. But you saw it and you're like, I got to jump in.
But
is that what happened?
I saw like people throwing clipboards and people like yelling at them and screaming because they dropped the ball, and they're just 5-6 year olds, Yeah. It's like, no, man, there's got to be a better way for this. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to come in. Okay, whoever wants to come with me, I'm going to devote myself into the brand new way of coaching football. Mm-hmm. Well, for me, actually, for brand new way. So a lot of parents now are like, I've never seen anybody this patient with kids, and like because I don't want to break them at a young age, Let
me adjust this real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can explain.
Yeah, you see, I don't want to break them at a young age. They're just babies. Like, so what if they drop a ball? So what if they miss a flight, right? Let's continue to teach them. And that's what life is all about. Like, if you just want like the end process in the 2 seconds, you're always going to be disappointed, right? But if you want to take the time and have them progress and learn, 5-10 years from now, they're going to be really, really good at what they do. And then, it's not taking credit, but that whole process of progress is going to be something amazing. And you can look back and say, hey, I was part of that. Like, and that kid is amazing now because I decided to be patient with him. Because I saw some kids that are really great. This one kid, Elijah, he's just an amazing football player. He was almost like a Bentley.
For real?
They broke him.
Really?
Yeah. Just because he was lined up wrong on defense, the guy ran in there and forcefully moved the kid. The kid started crying. Now you have like 50, 60 something people watching the game. You have the other team staring at you crying on the field, and you're just 5-6-year-old kid, right? You don't know how to go about that pressure. To this day, I can't get that kid to come and play football for anybody. The dad says, he loves you, bro. He knows you. We trust you.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to play sports anymore.
Dang, but he was good.
Yeah. Oh, he was great.
Wow.
Kid was natural, just a natural athlete. Very coachable kid, very humble kid, very quiet kid. But give him the ball, he will run circles around anybody. I've never seen just natural athlete. And all you have to do is, go through the steps. But I saw him I saw them break that kid. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Man.
So then I realized because they're just kids, they're babies, bro. Like these are our babies. And to some of the parents that want to be competitive, that's fine. That's your thing. That's your kid.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if I'm going to coach him, don't expect to win all the games. I want to win.
I want to win.
But I want to build them to succeed on their own too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put that pressure on them because, man, on that field, that's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah.
And these poor babies are like, they're already skittish. Hey, we come in the huddle. I bust jokes with them. Did people think I'm calling plays in the huddle?
Yeah.
They come in. Hey, well, why did the chicken cross the road? I go, huh? Because there's doo-doo all over our field. And it takes them away from the whole pressure and go, all right, go run it.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Man.
And a lot of people don't get it. It's like, oh, your kids are because I take them away from the pressure.
Yeah.
Man. I would take. If we lose, it's because me.
Yeah.
If they win, the credit goes to them. They're the ones doing all that. You know what I mean? And that's my secret. My secret sauce is crack jokes.
Yeah.
Halloween week during the season, I'm wearing a hot dog suit. I'm coming in a hot dog costume. My wife wants to change the costume because.
Oh. Do you know what I'm wearing?
What are you wearing?
Oh, I gotta show you. Man, I can't even I gotta just show you. I can't even
But I'm wearing a hot dog costume to the field. I'm gonna coach all day in that hot, sweaty.
That's what I'm wearing, bro. That's my inspiration, bro. I told my daughter, I said, Carly, please make that for me.
Who's gonna make that?
My daughter, man. I'm gonna make my daughter make that for me, bro.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I might get the magazine with the leg. Oh, I can't even show you guys. Can't even show you guys.
Bro.
I just saw that today. I was like, I gotta wear that.
Yeah, that's
Man. But you know what? That's something that's different. I think, man, I noticed that about our kids too.
Yeah.
Like even Tour Squad, man. Shout out to all the coaches that are involved with that.
Yeah, shout out to all the coaches.
Yeah,
man.
all the coaches.
All my brothers.
Man.
Team moms.
Vic, all the team moms. But man, it really feels like this is a program that's really out for the kids.
Yeah.
And I pray that it always stay the same. I'm sure that as things get more competitive, as kids get better, as they grow, there's always a temptation to make that the main thing.
Yeah.
But I pray that the root of that always stay the same. Because I personally had my son with a team where he had to play up. He played 8, and he was 6 at the time. But man, he was getting ripped like crazy. And the coach, he was just scared to make a mistake. And what's funny was my dad grew up. When I grew up, my dad was my coach. Man, when I say I had a good dad, I had a really good dad. He was always there for me. He's from the housing from town, but man, he was so good. He was so good to me, and he was so good to our players and the kids. So people still remember him. He was Retsy's coach.
Oh yeah,
and so people still remember my dad as a coach that he would take care of the kids. He would feed the kids, and he wouldn't yell at the kids. He would always build them up, and that was so different at the time. It was different from everybody else how they were coaching, but it mattered to me. Yeah. It mattered to me.
Care of the kids.
But what's funny is, man, I don't have that necessarily. I can see how I could get like that as a parent, where I'm putting pressure on my kid, or I really want to win, and part of me, I always laugh at those parents that they're trying to live through their kids,
right.
And I don't know if I'm doing that because I was kind of average. But what I do feel on the best days is, man, I want so much for him, and I want so much for my kids and for my other son and my daughter and all my kids. I want so much for them that I want them to succeed. But sometimes it's man, it's way more important to just be there. But coaches like you really help. And you guys are gonna have an impact on the kids for a long time.
Yeah,
I've seen it with my dad. The kids all everybody always ask, "Hey, how's your dad?" He was my coach for so long.
Yeah,
but he was like that. He was very much like how you're coaching up the kids.
Right.
You know, and still pushing the ball forward because we was running the run and shoot and Pop Warner, bro, and it was crazy.
Yeah, hey.
You know, always trying to push the limits still, you know, always trying to do better.
This camera right here?
Yeah,
this camera right here?
Right there.
So to all the tour squad, my brothers and sisters and everything, it's always going to be forever be about the kids now. Like that's never going to change because we want to maintain that relationship with the kids, the parents, and the community, right? Because
what about our tackle team though?
Yeah, let's work on that. We got to work. We got that powder white helmets with the chrome blue.
Is that what we doing? Oh, is that what we doing?
With the chrome blue.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna look like that weird dad, bro, trying to get photos. You know,
I want that powder white helmet so bad. Powder white with the chrome blue, baby.
To be honest, bro, Toa Squad, we got the best looking uniforms. We got the best looking.
That bright blue really hits. And I'm not a blue. I can't stand that color. But when the kids come out with that, I'm like, damn, that's really nice.
Yeah, so Matt likes blue now.
Yeah, I'm looking at powder blue.
Smitty like blue. Or was he more of a red guy?
I was more of a red guy.
More of a red color.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I fell in love with the red, when I was in Camp 4. So I came to White Power and I noticed real quick.
Oh, man.
Real quick with all the blue rags everywhere. I was like, all right, how many people I got to fight now?
Oh, man.
But I mean, that's it. I mean, everywhere you go, it's going to be like that, I guess. Just trying to fit in, not fit in, but trying to get accepted in the community. And
so for you, what like, all the stuff you've been through, how do you talk about like what kind of big lessons for you that you're like, man, I want to instill these things in my kids, or I know that you were for Tristan, when she had Tristan, you're like, man, I'm gonna be present in his life. That's a big thing for you,
for sure.
But what other things that you look back, you're like, man, I want my kids to I want them to learn these lessons. Yeah.
So the big thing was don't try to look to be accepted, or don't try to do things to be accepted. Just be yourself. Mm-hmm. Your strongest person is yourself. Mm-hmm. It's not who somebody in social media says you are. It's not what the world, society tries to say that you are. The strongest person is who you are, and who you are is what God created you to be. Mm-hmm. I'm your father, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. I'm also your best friend, but I'm here to guide you through life. Whatever you want to be a ballerina, you want to do, you want to be an astronaut, whatever you want, son. Mm-hmm. I love you 100%. I'm with you. The only thing I don't want you to do is fake it through life. Be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. Everything starts here in the heart. Mm-hmm. Be honest with yourself. Everything you do with love. My son, Tristan, 10 years old, heart of gold, the kid. But he also has a temper. He gets that from me. And so I'm guiding him through life with that, because he can be the most gentle giant, but he doesn't know his own strength, and he'd kick and punch holes through walls if he wanted to.
Oh, boy.
It's like kind of like, okay, dude, you probably could kill me with one punch. Just relax, So I tell him, if you're not true and honest with yourself, you're never going to see it in life. Mm-hmm. You're always going to see the fake. You're always going to see something that's phony. And then now you're going to be led by that. Oh, I want to do this. I get accepted by friends. And once that trend is over, that part of you now is gone. Mm-hmm. Now you got to mold into something else. Just be yourself all throughout it. Yeah. If you like it, take it. If not, leave it. Mm-hmm. But be yourself. It's like shopping. Yeah. Walking through the aisle of life and be like, I'm thinking be simple today, Take it. If you don't like it, put it back. Yeah. But don't ever hate yourself because the guys in the aisles didn't want you because of who you are. And that's pretty much what I teach my kids now.
Like, and have just be certain. Know their identity, know who they are, know who they are, know who God made them. Yeah, that's good.
And especially now, even with football, with our kids, because some coaches on different teams when we play, they try to bully. Like, they teach their kids different tactics.
Oh yeah, my son said that.
Yeah, they try to bully them in football. So I know fear when I see it, because I've seen it all my life. And I would call a timeout. I'd bring my kids in. Now, you listen to me now. If they're going to bully you through, I'm going to call the game right now. Don't let them bully you. Mm-hmm. You go in there and you share the field with them, and you show them, nah, man, not today. Mm-hmm. They go right back and they win them over.
Bro, there's some kids that my son tells me, like, some things that kids say to them. I'm like, no, there's no way a kid just makes that kind of stuff up.
It's ridiculous.
That's a parent thing. That's a coach thing or something.
That's a coach thing, yeah. And then There's some challenges when I go, because I teach my kids, the kids that I coach, I teach them the right way to play the game. Don't play dirty, don't tackle, play by the rules, this and that.
They've been tackling more though.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, bro, look, everybody been like, practice been a little physical.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we got to go back to the flags, guys.
Oh yeah.
If you let me know if you want to play tackle.
Like,
we'll
I see them grabbing like
yeah. I was like, dude, one of my.
But they're all more aggressive with each other now.
Yeah,
Like,
they're more
that?
competitive.
They are more competitive now.
I lit a fire under them this season, and I said, I'm not about winning. I told them, I don't care if we win or lose, but I want you guys to be rewarded for your hard work now. So I'm going to be a little bit more stern this season, and then when I say something, I need you guys to pay attention.
Yeah,
because success happens with all you guys do it. Yeah. It's not just one person. Yeah. So if Tonu throws a pick, I want you guys to come pick him up and then go do another play. Forget about what just happened. Run the next play, or go defense. Play together. So now they're getting a lot more amped. They're amped now. They're like, oh, I like this.
Yeah, they are, man. This. I love it.
It's like, yeah, but a lot of this is not possible without you guys, parents, man. And I really love you guys' support, because it's not easy, man. And of course you guys got your own lives before practice, and then everybody does. But when you guys are there on time with the kids and everything like that, it makes it so much more easier for us.
Every time we come late, it's just my fault. My bad.
No, it's good. It's good. But I tell all the parents all the time, if your kid is sick and this and that, please rest them.
Yeah.
It's just flag football.
Yeah.
But this season going forward, I want them to be rewarded, because it's hard work for them, right?
Yeah.
I try to remind my colleagues. Remember them all. They're the ones running the routes. They're the ones doing the sprints. They're the ones in there trying to make it work. Yeah. So if it doesn't go according to what you want to call, dude, snap, clear, do it again. Do it all over again. Yeah. Just be patient.
Yeah.
But
man, I appreciate all of that. One more question, I guess. I know you guys got a place.
No, you good.
Go.
Sorry. It's
no, but one thing I want to ask you, I got a couple more things actually.
Yeah, go ahead. We got day.
When you're talking about football, what do you hope to see as the kids get older? Because this is the last time I think a lot of them are playing 6U.
Yeah.
Might be Thomas definitely moving up.
My whole team except 1 or 2 players are gonna go up to 8. And my only hope for all of them is that they succeed. Whether they go into college in the future and they play whatever sport, volleyball, whatever. My hope is that they maintain the character that they learn now, is to play sports the right way. Don't play dirty, and don't try to take shortcuts in any of it, because you either get hurt or get somebody hurt. Yeah. But I want them to succeed. Not just succeed in sports, succeed academically, and also being known in the community as somebody to support the community and give back. Just that character, great character kid. Because it's sad, being Samoan growing up. It's like, hey, whatever happened to so and so? He was really good at football, and then you get to the college level. I mean, you know what I mean? What happened? Like, where did he go? It hurt me back then, because I was like, man, what a promising athlete. What a promising this and that. But, grades, or he got in trouble, he's locked up, or he got married early, he has kids, which, no, I'm not taking shots at that. I mean, you make your own decisions and choices. But I feel like for the kids that can be great, successful in the future, my hope for our kids now is that they just carry it with them. Yeah. Whoever. Whoever
one of the big reasons that my wife and I wanted to come back to Waipahu specifically, we're from here. Yeah. And man, I want people to know that you don't have to leave Waipahu to be successful. Meaning, we can raise up our kids here and they can succeed from here. Yeah. You don't have to go to another school or another this or another that, or we can provide what our kids need from here. And I love the place, because I know a lot of athletes from here, a lot of kids, smart kids. Like, not just athletes,
we got some great kids out here, man. Shout out to the block.
Shout out to the block, man.
Let's go.
Underrated.
Yeah, let's
underrated.
Go. At Waipahu High School,
it's legit.
You see them now?
It's legit.
Batters,
smart,
bro.
Yep.
What? Yep. School of the year.
Yep.
Wait, when did this happen?
Yeah, I got a niece there. I got my oldest niece. She's on my side of the family, and she is an excellent student. She could have gone anywhere. She's looking at MIT as one of her schools that she wants to go to.
Like, do it.
She stayed at Waipahu.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? And to see more of those kinds of things. So they're going to be a huge blessing to the next generation because not everybody will be able to get out or do anything. But we can bring in the light here.
Right.
And, you know, Waipahu was, it can be just a great place. I know there's a lot of people from here. I love it here and I don't want to leave.
Yeah, and it goes back to identity, man. Waipahu had this weird identity back in the 90s. That's not the same block anymore.
Yeah, is it?
It's not, man. You know, it was rowdy back then, right?
It was a rowdy.
You know, in high school,
2008 was rowdy too.
In high school,
I'm just kidding. It wasn't.
We couldn't say 94 block in high school.
Oh, for real?
We couldn't. We get suspended, bro.
Oh, now you can. I mean,
can
when I go
now.
on campus, it says 94 block everywhere.
And it's all over OIA. You're doing football. It's like, what, they could say it? We couldn't say it.
Now it's Roman numerals.
Yeah.
It's like XCIV. I said, oh my goodness.
The shirts,
oh my goodness. This is beautiful. This is so nice.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Even when the high school OIA comes on, it's like 94 block versus A-Town. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
But you know why, though? You know why I think that sticks? And I will say this for all the roughness of like what it was like growing up in Waipahu sometimes, just good people, man, out here. Like I say that anywhere. Like, man, the best kept secret in Hawaii, Waipahu was like we got the best. To me, we got the best people. I love hanging the Waipahu kids today. I love hanging with them and talking with them. They're just the funniest kids. Yeah, we talked about this earlier, but they're not like island kids like you would think.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird. It's a weird thing. Like a weird vibe in the block now. Maybe because our generation grew up, like we finally grew up and we knew how it looked back then, right? Yeah. Like I think Waipahu High School was. I don't know the stats. Don't fact check me on the old. Teen pregnancy team, but we was up there.
He was up there.
Like, he was up there. Jack Rabbits wasn't Jack Rabbits for nothing.
Is that why it was called Waipahu Jack Rabbits? Is that why it was called Waipahu Jack Rabbits?
Jack Rabbits with the teenage pregnancy going on.
Bro, Jack Rabbits had a thing going for them though. Like we was all, man. I remember thinking like.
And our gym had like a great boxing team. And
that's right.
Paul was on top, though, like on a lot of stuff back then.
Brian Valoria?
Brian Valoria. I know Brian Valoria personally with his.
For real?
Yeah. We went to school together.
Man.
Yeah, and then now he's coaching one of my teammates when I used to train at Boxford 808, Jordan Patton.
Oh, wow.
He's coaching him now up there in the States. So, yeah, it's like a full circle moment. It was like, hey, you know Jordan? He's like, yeah, he's coaching.
Jason Rivers?
Yeah, Jason Rivers from the block. Neil Gossett. Coach Timmy Chang.
Is he from here?
He's from the block, baby. That's 94 block
Timmy.
all day, bro.
What, for real?
All day, yep, all day. He went St. Louis, though.
Why he never played Waipahu? Why he never played Waipahu, man?
He should have stayed.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'll give a shout out to this, though. 2006 or 2004... 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, like kind of 2009, 2010, like Waipahu, man. But especially like that time when they had, I don't know, what was it? Like Krypton was playing, Sonny was playing, Austin was the quarterback. Yeah. And there's a bunch of good players from that time. But man, that was a special team, man. Yeah, man. Those teams, 2005, I think, 2005. Yeah,
those kids was banging back
man.
Then,
they beat Camp. Like I just like those kids. That was some good teams in Waipahu, man. Coach Sean Saturnio, shout out.
We always had a rugged reputation.
That's the thing. Waipahu, like, people don't know this. Waipahu always has studs. Yeah. Like the crazy part is, like, this is the funniest thing ever, man. There was Waipahu played a whole year one time. Okay, when I was in high school, they played a whole year. And they're all right. They're doing really good. And then they had that senior all-star game. Out of nowhere, they got this kid, John Pulatasi. I never even knew he played on the team. Like, because we were going to play Waipahu. And he goes out and wins the defensive player of the game out of nowhere. Who was this kid?
It was just like
just a baller.
Even last year. I want to say last year where they brought in that running back out of nowhere. And I was like, bro, who is this guy? Just running all over. But hey, no gloves, no fancy stuff. Straight up, just a straight up banger. And I was like, oh, brah, this kid can run. Yeah,
Uliata too. He was there. He was bad too.
Wow, that kid is a phenom, man.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good kids coming out, and I'm excited to see. But I think that the community, we got to provide the support for these kids. Yeah. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy. There's a lot of other things that social media. There's a lot of Some people they just we're gonna hug the block as long as we
for
can.
sure.
There's that aspect.
And shout out to all my usos that was on the block and now giving back to the community, man, like coaching and stuff like that. You know, they all like came back from. They were like hard bangers too back in the day. Now they're all like, you know what? Let's build these kids up.
That's what I'm saying. Like provide the support. I was talking with Rocky, who shout out the village. I was talking with Rocky about it. And I was like, man, he was talking about Kahuku because he's not from there,
right?
But his kids are there.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how the community supports like that. I'm like, man,
they got deep.
And I was like, bro, every community needs support like that. And I realized, oh snap, I ain't never even been to a game yet. Like it's something to talk about that kind of support, but the community got to be about that kind of support.
Be about it.
You know,
I think White Power is coming along.
Coming along,
We're coming along now because social media also has that influence too. Because the Big Red Sea, like the mainland, had no idea that existed.
Oh yeah,
until Kahuku went up and played Bishop Gorman. I think one of the years. It was like, oh, they did the haka and everything, and it was like. Now every school in the mainland is doing hakas now.
We ain't doing the haka at White Power, guaranteed. But I know what White Power will do. They gonna sing that alma mater,
yes,
and that's the best. That's one of the best alma maters in the world.
All time. All time. We should have.
It's good, bro.
Alma mater competition every year. We'll take it. Guaranteed.
And at White Power, bro, the football team be harmonizing too. So I'm like, oh my god, these boys are unreal,
yeah, bro. When you get to the last 3 hails, bro, and the helmet goes up, man. Oh,
that was one of the most bummer things to me was I didn't get to go to I love Yolani and I'm alumni there, but. Man, I love White Power and I wish I went there. I wanted to go there so bad.
Yeah.
Black Flag. I actually trained at White Power in the summers. I don't know if that was legal or anything, but I would train there. But I always stay connected to my friends. But man, like, I loved it. I still sing the alma mater. I thought I was gonna be. I thought I was gonna be out there singing too. Like I wanted to like hold the black flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I'm just walking out silently with Yolani strap up and everything. Man. I love it. But yeah, thankful for everybody giving back to the community.
Sure, man. We need it. We need it, especially this generation, man. Like you never know how the climate now out here with the social media is crazy. Yeah. And it can turn on a dime, right? Mm-hmm. So we gotta every chance that we get to give back to these kids, let's do it. Let's go out there and do it.
Yep. And you guys are doing it, man. And I appreciate it. The last thing I want to ask you is, I know you coaching football. Mm-hmm. I know Sundays is busy. When we going back to church? What's our timeline?
Hey, when God's always calling.
Yeah, let's go.
God's always calling, right?
You guys gotta come visit. Yeah, I want you guys to come visit, man. I know you guys got so much going on, but I would love to you guys.
I'll even say this: next game, after next game, let's do it.
Oh man,
yeah, let's do it.
Come visit, man. We'll see. Like I know the schedules, but man, like I said, I'm just so thankful for you guys, man. Like and
thank you, guys, man.
I'm so thankful. What was the reason you guys? I know it was to spend time with family and all that, but man, we love to just worship with you guys, man.
So the main reason why we decided to separate was we were helping out huge at one of the churches here locally in West Hall, and then we decided that we should. Help out one of the churches out in Kali. So we went out to Kali.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I think we were only there for like 4 months.
Well, of course you guys never stayed. That's Kali.
So I'm just kidding. We went there. It was a great church, great environment. Wells of Blessings is what it's called. Great environment, great church. But we went over there simply just because we're so burnt out already. We were like doing worship and then being a deacon. I was preaching off and on, doing all this stuff. Everything was we're just burnt out. So we just went over there mainly just to help out. Yeah, like, what do you guys want? And then just hang out. And then all of a sudden they said, we brought in a new youth pastor. Like, oh, hold on, brother, we need to talk about this. Oh, wow. Like, oh, okay, hold on, we need to talk about this. So that started like a friction a little bit between me and the pastor there. Because because we know that you can preach and you can really teach the youth. Like, I'm all there, like. Yeah, but you gotta ask, like, bro, like, cause I got kids, you know what I mean? Like,
they announced that.
yeah, in front of like it was like a Bible study.
And you guys are already like, man, you guys are worn out at this point.
I was just burned out, and not only that, they already had a couple that was waiting to be appointed to be youth pastors there. And they were gifted already. They had already had a chemistry with the kids. It was almost like. Who's this new guy just coming in here and then all of a sudden he's the youth pastor? And
they probably put that on you, like you guys are trying to come in.
But that was exactly what it was. So it created a friction with the members that were already there. And then, but we were able to hurdle that
Yeah.
by actually communicating with those parents and communicating with
That's
everybody
awesome.
that was
Yeah.
there. And I said, look, I turned it down because this is not why I came.
Yeah.
It's not why we came. We just wanted to find a new place, a new church home that we want to call home and worship with you guys and fellowship. It was like, oh, but they said this and that you were coming. No. None of that is true. Even though it's from the pastor, it's not true.
Yeah.
We don't want to. Why would I want to create friction? I don't even know the kids. Like, it's unfair for you guys, unfair for the kids, unfair for everybody.
Yeah.
So we squashed that whole thing, started building a relationship with the church members. And then something happened to the drummer. Like, he had to work a lot on Sunday. So they asked me to come fill in, which is fine. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I'll come fill in. Never thought to be a permanent member. Just, when he comes that he can play whatever.
Yeah.
And then started playing. And then they asked my wife, can you be the keyboard player also, please, and this and that? Because my wife can play the keys really good. And then next thing you know, my wife would start singing with the worship team. Now we're deep now. We're in the worship team now.
Right.
So we're playing, we're singing, we're playing. And then the pastor's wife didn't like that my wife could sing really well. So she would unplug her microphone. Like, bro, in live service, got up because she live service, she was motioning to the guitar player to turn her mic down. And I was like, why is she waiting? Because the guitar player was right next to me. And I'm jamming, and my wife is, everybody, in mid-worship, bro. Mid-worship. And then because John was the name of the guitar player, didn't see it. And I was trying to look at her. I thought she was waving at me. And, oh, no, she's waving at John. What's going on? And she was saying, turn it down, pointing at my wife. And my wife is just singing, worshiping, playing.
Just worshiping God.
We're all worshiping. We're all worshiping. We're all playing worshiping. I see her get up, walk over to the PA that's on the other side of the wall. And next thing you know, my wife is like, I can't. She turns to me. I can't hear my mic. I was like, bro, not once.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
3 times.
Oh, my goodness.
So there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, let's not try to fight it. Let's just continue to help out, blah, blah, blah. And then it turned into, we had a family trip we had to take. So we went to the Big Island for like the weekend. We missed that one service. And then we came back.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah. We came back from the family trip. And apparently, we're not committed now.
Church discipline, bro. Y'all slipping. I feel like you guys, the Lord just told me that you guys might be backsliding.
It's like, oh, they're not committed because they didn't come to service because they had to go on a family trip. So then that was when I really, okay, you know what? There's one thing to be humble about certain things. But when you touch bases with other people talking about my family, that's a completely different thing.
No, yeah, that's different.
So then, but it was hard because we already created relationships with everybody.
Yeah.
And I was preaching, and everybody was when he invited people to come to this one service that I was preaching at, they never had the whole church filled. It was like to the door, out to the streets, right? And everybody was just so filled with the Holy Spirit. The worship was awesome. God was glorified that day. And then it went from there to, okay, that's what you're gonna do?
Okay, I understand what's going on. I was just reading about this. I was reading about this, actually. This is something that, this is kind of deep, but I was reading about this I was reading an article a couple of days ago, because I'm a lead pastor at the church right now. And I was reading about narcissism and how people are narcissistic, and they really want people. They say they want people, they're loving, but they really want people because they want people to boost them up.
Right.
And at the moment that they see a threat, all of a sudden they want to push people down now, or they want to give authority, or they want to give responsibility, but without extending the authority of that responsibility. It's because they don't want them to really thrive. And I was wrestling with my wife because I said, man, I think that like anybody in like any leadership role, you're susceptible to doing that. Yeah. You could be a coach and you got an assistant, and then you're like,
and then all of a
you're
sudden
stepping on my toes now.
Bro.
But he's a good assistant. That's why, And I thought to myself, man, we really got to guard ourselves as a church. Even me, I was telling my wife, like, I got to guard my own heart from feeling that way if I do. Like, like if a guy comes and just someone comes and they have all these giftings, like I gotta like get myself out of the way in a sense, and be celebrating the gifts that God's given people. Like if they're better preachers, better teachers, better leaders, so all these things, like it doesn't mean God didn't call me and he's not using me. I'm not part of the church in any way, but the enemy would love to just to see everybody as a threat. I was reading that article, really praying about it, just to guard my own heart. That's so crazy that you say that, because I was telling my wife, like, that's exactly what I want to avoid.
Yeah.
Where you see somebody that can thrive, and because it's not going to be you now that gets some shine, or people like that guy now, like all of a sudden you're like, you try to push them down.
Yeah.
And that's narcissism. That's like self-centered.
Yeah. It's
self-centered.
That's a spirit of competition. It's a spirit of division. It's and it's an evil spirit, man. And it's one of those creepers too, because you won't ever see it coming. Because the guy that's now accepted, the new guy or the new woman, a new worship leader, whoever it is, once they start to soar in the gift that God has given them, it's the whisper now. Oh, now everybody's looking at them. What about you? You've been here the longest. And it's like these subtle things that you never know it's going to, and it starts to eat at you, but it starts to chip away at the armor. And if we don't catch ourselves, that's what I hope when I say remove yourself when you're serving. Because if you don't put God there, it's going to affect the pride, right? And if it's God doing it, it doesn't matter what the whisper is. Yeah. God's in charge now. And then he's like, he invited the gift over. Okay, that's cool. It just made the glory to God even more greater then. Yeah.
And I think that in that situation, it is right, and it is good and okay to without leaving a sour taste in your mouth, or without like bashing the church, or like, hey man, well, one, it's an unhealthy situation, whatever that church, whatever's going on in the church. If it's as you say, that's a very unhealthy situation. Right. And so, with people and that you trust and you love, you got to share with them, because you got to do them a solid. Right. But also on the back end, like, you got to guard your heart on the way out. Like, know that, man, God's people are messy. God's people are strange like that, man. They got a whole book of Corinthians talking about it. And guard my heart and know that, okay, God is still good and God's still in control. Man, that's hard.
And this story ties into that story that you were talking about in your last podcast about texting, group texts. So this is the same exact church.
Oh, boy.
Okay, same exact church.
Yeah. Y'all got a group text?
And there was a group chat. Yeah. The group text that they created for all the members and the servants of the church. So, it's supposed to be about us, not just sending out information about practice and things like that, but, encourage each other every day by scripture every week, which is really good. Yeah, yeah. I full 100% like.
I don't like those, man.
You don't like that?
You know why? Because people try to do that, but then they be checking on you, and then all of a sudden it feels legalistic that I gotta act like I'm the pastor of the church. I gotta act like I did. Like, I did, or like I feel bad because
if you don't like it,
or I'm over here like, okay, I send awesome. I did read mine today, and it's like, oh, you read yours at 11 p.m. Yeah, I had a long day. So I just no group chat.
But what happened was, so the whole issue went down where I guess the pastor didn't like me and my wife very much for a while, because we were always taking trips and we're missing out on some certain stuff because my son had things, and so we're missing on a lot of stuff during the week, Bible study, whatever. So I guess the pastor felt a certain way about me and my wife and my family, and he only shared it with his wife. And the wife sent him a text message that was only meant for him. And it's, I know you don't like them. I know you can't stand seeing them and this and that, but you're the pastor, and you got to go and you lower yourself and talk to them. Be humble. If you want them to leave, just tell them to leave. If you didn't like the way that they sing and do all this other stuff, then you should blah, 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 blah. Huge, bro. The text message was huge. Sent to the whole group chat and everybody. Oh. Everybody in the church.
I mean, that's so bad that you almost, even though it's about you guys, you almost feel bad for them. It's so bad.
But for me, when I read it, I was at peace.
Yeah, confirmation.
That was my confirmation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my confirmation.
You can't keep your family there at that point.
So we got to go. And it was and my wife was just being encouraging and supportive. She said, no, we should stay, should be humble. We can write it out. I said, look, if God gives me the way out, okay, I'm not fighting that current. I'm going exactly where it's going to take me. Yeah. As bad as everything seems right now, it's not my job to fix it. Yeah, because she didn't send that. But it wasn't by accident that ended up in a group chat about things, right? If it was a message, then it's taken. I got it. Okay. And then so I didn't say anything to the pastor. I didn't write anything negative back. I just, when we went to the last service, we told him this was our last service. Thank you for the opportunity to preach here and being part of the worship team and all this and that. But, I find it's better if we just, and they knew exactly. where that came from. Then the build up and then the text.
Okay, that's good though. I mean, that's good that you guys did the solid and total.
Yeah,
left well.
Yeah.
So that was you guys' last church that you guys was at?
That was the last church we was at, and that was, I want to say 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I want to say 2 years. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah, and then after that, it came out and in the coaching.
Yeah. But man, we love you coaching, and we love to have you guys back.
Thank you.
In church.
Thank you. I would love
the body of Christ.
I would love the opportunity.
I'm kind of biased because I'm a pastor, but I really believe. I really believe in. I really believe in the importance of fellowship with believers, and not in the sense of, again, not an events driven guy.
Right.
Like when we have Bible study every week on Tuesdays when we rush out, but we tell our people, like, don't take what God meant for life and make it a burden to people. So even Sundays, like there's people with little kids, and man, sometimes baseball is on that day. And I get the people, if you're convicted that we got to be in church and that's your family got to do, I'm cool with that. But then there's other people with different convictions that, like, don't miss all your son's games.
Right.
Like go, whatever. If it can work out, work it out. But I also believe that God has sustained his people for 2,000 years with a weekly Sunday gathering. Yeah. On the Lord's Day.
The fellowship, man.
The fellowship.
Keep the
and so we
fellowship
love
strong.
to see you guys back in the fellowship.
Yeah.
And using all the gifts that you guys have, but not being used by the church, but using your gifts to glorify God. Because I think a lot of times we're like, use all your gifts here. That's not what I believe. I believe that, man, use your gifts out there in the world.
Yeah.
Use the ones that are meant for in here. And never see this Sunday service as the end all be all of your service to God, because it's one day.
Yeah, it's just one day.
It's one day. And you got 6 other days you got to do this. And we come here to equip you to continue to do that throughout the week, And so if you're going to do that, though, it can't be burdensome. It can't be burdensome on people.
It's like the lesson that he teaches about giving, right? If you feel like you're giving a bad spot on your heart, don't do it. And same thing, right? So I really love the opportunity, man, because I missed the worship aspect of serving, because that's where I'm most intimate with the Father, with my Father. And then it's like, without that, I mean, I listen to TD Jakes on the road, but it's not the same as having that connection, right? Just being in that, and then just have it just rain all day long.
We're meant to be. We're meant to be in person. Just like this. This is why I love this format. Is because, man, like the conversations we have are good, and people get to be invited in. Yeah. But better than watching this thing would be meeting you. Yeah. Like, so if there's like any parents ever watch this, right? It's one thing to hear your heart about football and the kids and where all these things, but it would be even better when they see you hands-on with their kids, coaching them up and teaching them. Like so like we're meant to be in person, in fellowship, and that's something special. So we hope you guys can jump in, just check it out, just visit us. So you be like, hey, that's my son's coach. Man, but we love to have you guys there, man.
I would love to, bro. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna set something up and try to clear up, and then, and I can't be a hypocrite, because I can go back. We don't play all day, so we don't really have a need to be there all day. And then maybe
but I understand.
Maybe this season we're just gonna cut early, serve, and then do some worship, and then go back to the field.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of Ubering to. So that parking is terrible at the field we're about to play at. So we come in early for the for you.
But once you leave,
you can't. Yeah, goodbye. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna leave our cars there. Okay. We're dropping this after, so it's fine. But we're gonna leave our cars there. Yeah. Then my father-in-law gonna take us to church, drop us off. Okay. And then my wife gonna get a ride back. Okay. But I'm at church now with no ride, because my father-in-law is going to take her back. Okay. She's going to leave church early. Yeah. This is why it's fine. She's going to leave church early to take our kids out so that Tony could be there on time. And then I'm going to be there rideless. So I'm going to Uber there.
Don't stress yourself. Tony doesn't have to be there at 11 something for check-in.
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah. My wife is taking... No, my wife is already going to be there. Oh, okay. Because my father-in-law, he want to come early to come to the game. Our service is gonna be done, but I always talk with all our people. Talk with all our people. So my wife's gonna dip out. I almost thought of announcing to the church, "Hey guys, just letting you guys know. I'm just letting you guys know my son got a game. So I know you new people are here. I'll talk to you guys next week. I'm out of here." And it's all on the live stream, bro. This stuff be happening at our church, bro. we're a little church, like, but I don't know. It's just I want our people to feel free, and I want them to.
Where's your church at? Because I'm trying
Festival
to figure
Marketplace, right by the old Big Way. You know Rocky's Diner?
Bro, you lost me, bro.
Rocky by the Transit Center. You know Transit Center?
Okay, the transit center.
Transit Center. Then Rocky's the pancake shop right over there. Like,
right there in the corner.
in the corner.
Oh, wait, hold on. So
Go straight. So like you going west on the Transit Center.
Yeah.
That little shopping center with all the shops on the side.
Right.
That's where we at.
Oh.
Right in that parking lot. Bank of Hawaii. The Bank of Hawaii. Yeah, so right in there.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I
yeah.
can literally, we literally right up the road from you.
Oh yeah, you guys are right up the road,
Right
man.
up the road.
Yeah, just come by, say hi.
Mosey on down there.
Just mosey on down, bro.
Howdy doody.
We got some howdy doodies there. Like I said, we're a mixed church, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we got like Palangi, Samoans, everybody, local people, Hawaiians, everybody.
God's love is for everybody.
Yeah,
baby.
it is, man. It is. But
secret
man,
sauce.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thank
Man, it
you
was
for
good
that.
stuff,
Thank
man.
you for the invite.
It was an
brother.
honor, man.
Yeah, I love this whole thing. I'm still very new at the cameras and stuff.
Hey,
but
no, you did good, man.
Thank you so much.
Oh man, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Yes.